All right. Welcome, everybody, to a little bit of an early stream for me. I wanted to start this one. A couple things happened, so I wanted to start this stream a little bit early to make sure I could fit in everything in a timely fashion. So, last week I talked about how I was going to probably play in the Friday Duel Commander Trial, try to scrounge up some QPs, play in the Legacy LCQ today. And I was like, oh, I'll just, start my stream at the usual time, play the LCQ, maybe like do some Duel Commander between rounds or something like that. Then I ended up winning the entire Friday Duel Commander trial. So I wanted to instead do a matchup review. I recorded all my matches ahead of time because MTGO unfortunately doesn't the replay system still doesn't work, but I did record all of my matches just in case there was something like this could happen. So I wanted to do a matchup review, a tournament review, something I hadn't done in a while, and I thought it would be very fun content, kind of showcasing some pretty high level cloud gameplay, matches against really good players, really good decks, stuff like that. And so in order to fit all that in, I wanted to hopefully time this in a way that I could get through all of it before the LCQ. To not interrupt the flow of that. If it bleeds over a little bit, if we only get through like 5 or 6 of the matches or whatever, and have to do around one of the LCQ, so be it. That is the nature of my streaming. I don't know how long this is going to take, but sorry to anyone out there watching on YouTube if there's a little bit of legacy that bleeds in at the end there and you're not here for that. You can fast forward around and find the matches. But 7 matches, because it was a small... It was a small trial, so it was exactly 16 players. This means it was like literally just 4 rounds cut to top 8, which I didn't even realize until I was in the top 8. But I had a lot of fun. Got to win the whole thing, take it down with Cloud. So we can do a quick matchup review here. Where the Duel Commander SQ's for real, man. I tell you what. Give me them Duel Commander RCQs. Give me the Duel Commander French National Qualifier tournament, like the MTGO Duel Commander French National Qualifier events. I talked to some folks about that actually. I'm hoping to. Well, I have no idea if I will ever see the fruits of those labors, but it would be nice. I think it's like a pretty reasonable move to make if like the French Nationals is as big as it is. I feel like a lot of players in EU would want to play in an online qualifier event, and then it would be cool to like see some folks from other parts of the globe try to win and then maybe fly out to French Nationals next year or something. Would be nice. Anyway, so it was 4 rounds cut to top 8. We got 7 matches here. Played through the whole thing. We'll do some skipping around since we have the ability to fast forward. We have the technology. Oh god, this is full screened. Shrink. Can I make this? Yeah, this looks like perfect sized. Give me the Duel Commander path to the Pro Tour. Actually, not really. I don't really care about qualifying for the Pro Tour. Oh yeah, this was me starting the recording and then like waiting 5 minutes or so for the 16th person to join. Yeah, there we go. 4 minutes in. I was sweating. I was like, are we... Maybe this isn't going to fire. But at 15, you're like so close to just one person needs to get in. I jumped into like the Duel Commander Discord and there's like the Magic Online channel and I was like, hey, someone want to please... So actually, I don't remember a lot. We'll see. Path to the Duel Commander Pro Tour. Now we're talking. So we'll kind of go... Alright, so I think round 1, my opponent was probably double queuing and like took a million years to actually show up. Yeah, here we go. Just full 5.5 minutes before I get to look at my opening hand. Can I like... Is there a way to make this, like, times 1.5 speed or something? Yeah, here we go. Maybe even times 2 speed is wise. So we're in the Cloud Mirror. We're on the draw. This hand is very good. We have one drop to play out on the play. We have removal spell. We have Masterwork of Ingenuity, which can help like break serve a little bit if they like go like turn 2 Cloud, turn 3 play out the GTA or something, and you have a creature in play. You can like copy their GTA, equip, attack, stuff like that. Or you can just grab your other equipment, because I find that an interesting, like, and I think one of the most important sub games of the Cloud Mirror is deciding on whether or not your hand leads towards a Skull Clamp game or a Umezawa's GTA game. And I find that most of my opponents almost always go for GTA, and while it's obviously really good in the mirror if you can connect, I think that people should be going for Skull Clamp, maybe a little bit more than they are. That being said, I think I go for GTA a lot this tournament, so I guess we'll see. Can I like arrow key to like skip forward like 5 seconds or something? I don't know anything. Looks like no. Can I just ×2 speed this? Turn 1 boots, not the most threatening thing in the world. I have an upkeep stop from something. I guess this upkeep stop was probably from like last. I don't remember what our match was. Round 5 of last Tuesday's stream, but I had an upkeep stop. I don't think I'd played Magic since then. Turn 2 is just almost always going to be Cloud, when you're on the play especially. Figure out if my opponent gets GTA or not. GTA versus Skull Clamp. GTA is always like more tempting when you're on the play. You're more proactive. You're more likely to have the GTA equipped and attacking first. You have the Lava Spur Boots to threaten things with the GTA afterwards, even if I like have an answer for Cloud. If they like equip attack with the Cloud and I kill it, they have the possibility of like 1 drop, equip boots, equip GTA, like threaten again. They grab Sword of War and Peace, which is very odd to me, because I would be shocked if my opponent had both, like maybe they have both Skull Clamp and GTA in their hand. My guess is that they have at least have GTA in hand, but like this, especially like your first Cloud grab seems kind of crazy. It's really mana intensive and kind of overrated, I think. I don't even have War and Peace in my deck anymore after we cut it for Hand of Vecna, and I haven't really missed it even in the mirror, so this is probably like 4th on my list of equipment that I would get in the mirror. Not very exciting draws. I debate the merits here of Laydown Arms in Cloud versus casting my own Cloud, because it will get a little hard to kill this Cloud if they just like put like next turn put boots on it or something. Or if, again, operating on the assumption that they maybe have GTA already, if they like cast GTA, put boots on, it's going to be harder to kill this Cloud because it has double ward 1. But if I go play Cloud, grab my own GTA, rather than lay down armsing, it opens up that line I was talking about earlier where I can masterwork their GTA, equip an attack, or potentially just spend like 3 mana. I can just spend a 3 mana lay down arms to kill the Cloud if it's equipped with the boots, and that's like their only creature in play. So it just like fits the mana curve a little bit better. I'm not very excited. I don't really want to copy a Lava Spur Boots, so just curve-wise. And because I have like Benevolent Bodyguard active, it means I'm not threatened by like City of Traders or Crystal Vein into surprise GTA equip. Yeah, opt for GTA here. My hand feels like it definitely dictates that this is a GTA game. And again, if they do have the Skull Clamp, we can always steal it or copy it because we have Masterwork, which is nice. Mutavault's also really scary here. Because it means that they have another ability to equip things. But like, since they don't have GTA in play, the Mutavault's not that threatening yet, right? Because they can connect and get a trigger, but who cares? We're likely to like just lay down arms, cast our own GTA maybe. That runs a little bit of risk. I think do I fuck up here? I shouldn't attack with the Benevolent Bodyguard, but I think I do. Because this runs into what, Soul Land plus Masterwork, which is notably like kind of a lot, kind of a big ask, but the damage is very rarely important in the Cloud Mirror. And then if my opponent goes City of Traders, Master of Ingenuity or GTA, fire a Mood Evolve, then we're just like super fucked, and it's just easily preventable by just not getting in 1 damage and keeping our guy that can just kill himself up. You usually just win by insurmountable card advantage via Skull Clamp or just like insurmountable board state via GTA, stuff like that. So the 1 damage is just like not my most pressing concern. Can I skip forward a little bit? I have no idea. Does this looks like it updates? Yeah. There we go. All right. This opponent playing definitely like at least double queuing, playing very slow. 12 minutes. I've spent 1 minute and 20 seconds on this match, and they've gone through over half their clock, and we're like 4 turns into game 1. They're just like very clearly double queuing. Mogg is perma multi-queued. Yeah, that tracks. I have thoughts and feelings about multi-queuing. This was an interesting play, because we have a couple of options here. This thing having pro white means that I need to like activate my benevolent bodyguard if I want to get if I want to like get my GJ triggers, and getting 4 GJ triggers doesn't even like kill the magistrate. Obviously, I can use 3 GJ counters to I'd have to actually use all 4 GJ counters if they like put the boots on it to stop it from getting a trigger. But also, again, this sort of War and Peace, the trigger itself isn't that threatening. Obviously, like the pro white's like kind of a big deal, but the fact that this isn't just like a magistrate holding a GT that's like threatening to attack me or whatever. Obviously, the GT wouldn't be very good here anyway. Well, I'd be in a similar position of like whether or not I play around Solitude, I guess. Like a equip attack. Whether or not I want to like pro white and get blown up by Solitude or something like that. But this sort of War and Peace is just like, I don't really care if my opponent connects that much. So I think, honestly, my play is probably just like get my own sort of War and Peace online with Cloud. Right? 1 mana sort of War and Peace equip. Wait, do I not do that? God, I don't actually remember. Obviously, I can't just equip attack because it is pro white, so I can't deal any damage to it. This makes sense. Get the double trigger, so I'm like absolutely not threatened by Sword of War and Peace, and also having pro white means that their pro white matters less because I'm on the offensive here. And this also insulates my Cloud from a potential GT that is maybe floating in their hand just based on this like Cloud trigger from turn 2. Even if they have GT, they can't clear my Cloud because it has 3 toughness now, and then I will be able to equip the GT the following turn and get double triggers to outpace their GT. Also, they're like gonna fucking die in a very short order because Cloud double War and Peace triggers are pretty nuts. They do have Masterwork of Ingenuity, so they can steal my GT here, which was what I feared. But again, we can still outpace this fairly comfortably. There is a little bit of danger of like they can fire up their Mutavault to block the Cloud and then double ping it off with their own GT trigger counters, but that kind of just puts just a rewind on the turn, right? Because it uses all their GT counters, so not that like we're just kind of back to square one. Is this format just Cloud Mirror matches now? Maybe 3 out of 7 of my matches. Obviously, can't do the block sack thing here. This thing is pro-white. We draw Hand of Vecna. I'm thinking, you see me, like, mouse over the Mutavault as, like, I'm thinking about these cards. I honestly don't remember what I do here. Do I just, like... Oh, I remember what I was worried about here, I think. I'm worried about animate Mutavault, block Cloud, like, after I equip GJ and attack. And then with my GJ triggers on the stack, they can clear my board. They can kill this and deal the last point of damage on Cloud. Cloud will, like, have taken 2 damage and it'll be 3 toughness. So I'm worried that I will have no board state versus an active Strength Magistrate I can't get off the board, plus GJ plus sort of War and Peace. So the Hand of Vecna draw here is actually nuts, because it just gives my Cloud more toughness so it can survive the combat, plus the GTs. So we just land, hand, equip, send. I honestly don't know what my line would have been had we not drawn the Hand of Vecna there. My opponent, I assume that my opponent's gonna, like, double ping their Immunavault here, but then they just choose not to for some reason. Obviously, we can't. They can, like, get 3 GD counters now, but then we have 4 GD counters on our guy to counteract that. This Ranger Captain can't really do anything. If they had, like, a Skyclave or something to, like, pop my GT, some removal spell, some portable hole, then we could have definitely died there. But instead, they didn't have it, so they died. Easy. We have the Gemstone Caverns, which is broken. Let's slow down a little bit there. Gemstone Cavern. The play-draw discrepancy is a little rough sometimes in the mirror. Although we did win game 1 on the draw, which is nice. But Gemstone Caverns is, like, maybe the best card in the entire deck after Skull Clamp, I guess. It's just, like, good all the time, basically. And it's really good in the mirror. We get to pitch this, like, pretty worthless Ghost Vacuum and just steal the play. We have another Protector, which is nice, and we have removal for their equipment. My opponent also doesn't have, like, 1-drop or something like Mother of Runes. Incredible. This looks like a GTA game. You could argue that it's a Skull Clamp game based on we have, like, Garrison Cat, but now that we've stolen the play, we're kind of the aggressor here. We have Benevolent Bodyguard to, like, we have both Benevolent Bodyguard and Talon Gates of Madara to try to pressure connecting with GTA a little bit more. And we can go get Skull Clamp on, like, the second round of Cloud. Next turn we can just go, like, Benevolent Bodyguard, GTA. There's, like, some temptation to Skyclave the Cloud, especially because Skyclaving Commanders is just generally good. And then that's what I'd actually do. I wasn't sure if I actually did that. I think drawing the Cathar Commando changed my line a bit, because obviously you want to maintain your answer for their GTA, but also, like I just said, Skyclaving Commanders is really good because they don't get the illusion unless they leave it under. So it is generally just kind of a free removal spell. This puts a body in play for the GTA here, and now we have the Cathar Commando in our hand back to stop the GTA anyway. My opponent also opts to just leave Cloud under the Skyclave, which kind of makes some sense, because if you have more removal, then this is kind of just a fight about bodies and not a fight about getting a second Cloud cast. But this is, like, a huge loss if this game goes too long. This looks like a pretty good turn to just Talon Gates equip GTA attack. They're also down their Swords to Plowshares, so there's not a lot of cards they can just have here at this point. It's like Solitude. Maybe some of the other free spells could stop this. I don't even... And also, again, worst case, they do have some answer to the Skyclave, And then they play land and get their GTA online, and it just doesn't really matter because I have Cathar Commando, and I can still just kill their GTA for no benefit. They just get, like, gain 4. They do have Path to Exile, which is a little bit surprising. I think this card kind of just sucks in Duel Commander overall, but it's just really good for me here. We just have a bunch of things to deploy all the time. It does give them 2 buys, maybe a little bit awkward. But now we can just, like, spew our hand. Shoot the GTA. Play the Bodyguard, play the Cat. I think I choose not to oust, and maybe I should have just ousted the Illusion token, but I just, like, save it, because this board's not very threatening. Goodbye, my sweet GTA. And this is what I was talking about. It can just be Skull Clamp time later. We can just Skull Clamp. Play Skull Clamp, clamp the cat. Just go crazy. You are playing the better cloud list, so the odds are in my favor. That's how I felt. I think my cloud list is really good. They have Council Judgment, a card that I'm, like, less judgy on. I'm a little judgy on the Path to Exile. Cloud Judgment is, like, fine. It's a little expensive, but it's definitely, like, a pretty good utility card. Decent in the mirror, where you just want a lot of answers to, like, GTA, Skull Clamp, stuff like that. It can be a little finicky in some other matchups, though. I think about the big reload, like clamp cloud, draw 4, versus just continue to clamp things, draw 2, and keep the cloud in play for, like, better pressure. Sword and Feast and Famine. I'm just like, okay, I'll just prevent them from getting their trigger or whatever. We'll block, and we can just, like, get rid of the Benevolent Bodyguard, and then, like, wrath their board, right? Lay down arms, oust, kill all their stuff. Hey, Blinky Man, thanks for the follow. What I fail to remember is that Tithe Taker makes abilities cost 1 more, so I should have blocked with the Benevolent Bodyguard and get my cloud killed for no reason, which isn't the end of the world. Where we have a bunch of mana, so, like, we can just keep recasting cloud. In fact, we have 8 mana next turn, so we can literally go cloud a 3rd time and lay down arms and oust. So it's really not that bad, but this was definitely a fumble. But it's actually, like, nah, we would have rather just drawn 4 cards next turn and blocked with the Bodyguard. But instead, we can just oust the token, lay down arms the Tithe Taker, recast cloud for 6, go get a threatening equipment, something like Fire and Ice. I look at my graveyard for Formwar. I see Cathar Commando. I'm like, Formwar is probably fine. I might have just wanted Fire and Ice instead here, but yeah, they're just dead. They're so far behind. They don't have any more clouds they can cast. We're just, like, massively ahead on mana and cards. The game's just over. Easy peasy. We're 1-0. Do I have to set the speed up to ×2 each match? Yes, I do. Skip. Oops, spoilers. Round 2. I see my opponent, Echo Baronen, and gear up for an Aragorn matchup. He loves to play Aragorn. Very legacy adjacent deck. It feels very, like, Delvery, blue legacy player build. And then my opponent reveals Cloud Midgar Mercenary, and that's when that's when I, like, really think that Clouds may be too good for this format, huh? When you watch Andreas switch from Aragorn to Cloud, something's up. We also lose the die roll in the Cloud Mirror again. Unfortunate. His hand's pretty stacked, though. Pretty happy with it. Obviously, want to hit some more land drops, but my opponent turn 1 boots again. I opt for Pride here, I think, probably, because my opponent's just going to cast Cloud on turn 2 every time, so it's nice to just be able to attack with Pride and start generating tokens. We drew the GTA, so we're very likely to go Skull Clamp, grab Skull Clamp with Cloud, And then if we miss on lands, we really just want to like play Skull clamp the cat token from on turn 3. We play Skull clamp the cat token from turn 2. Opponent does not, in fact, play Cloud. Helitrooper is a real scary one though. I've opted to cut this from my list, but it's like it's one of the cards that I don't hate as well, as opposed to like the other free equippers. There's like a 3 mana thing that like free equips all your equipment, and then there's like Frodo and stuff. I kind of hate those cards, but Helitrooper's like pretty fine. It's got a lot of like good text. I was kind of surprised to see this over. Actually, no, I guess that makes sense. He wants to stop my connecting with Ocelot Pride. So he plays the thing with 2 toughness. It's also not a very exciting like Cloud turn here, so I have to just like play out ones. Skrelv can help me start getting in with the Ocelot Pride. Esper Sentinel can maybe tax something. Potentially let me draw a card even, would be nice. And here's probably Cloud. This Cloud probably gets GT. Helitrooper is really scary. We can't really block it. And then he gets fucking Manriki Gusari. I swear to God, I was talking to several people about putting a Manriki Gusari in my deck because there's so much Cloud online, but I was just like, I'm not gonna play Manriki. I'll just outskill all my Cloud opponents. It's gonna be fine. We'll just win without Manriki. It's fine. And then fucking Andreas shows up on Cloud instead of Aragorn playing Manriki. You know something's going on with this format. Something is up. I'm still a little bit surprised that he does go for the Manriki here. Like, it feels like he's on the play. He's got like a solid board. Like that he feels like he's the aggressor here. I don't really know what's happening. We miss on land, kind of horrible. GT's kind of nice, or 8 is kind of nice with GT. I think we just like what Cloud for Clamp, plus actually maybe we're supposed to like aid, hold up, dismissal, set up for GT next turn. Definitely Skrelv pro white attack. Generate tokens. Yeah, I opt for aid because I'm trying to line up the GT here. We also hold up dismissal for like emergencies, although it wouldn't work on the Cloud obviously because it's got ward. But our Cloud's not very exciting. This Oswald kind of sucks for me. I have to sit here and like think about a lot of stuff. Me hovering over the Manriki, just feel like this guy. Come on. Sitting here trying to deduce some of the like how to beat this Manriki with my Umastra's GT seems like kind of impossible. I have to sit here and tank on how I'm gonna beat this Oswald if it's got Ward 1. It's just like this game. We missed our land drop. Like this game's getting massively out of hand. We missed our land drop what, twice here? No, there he was on the play. I have to figure out if I want to like Galadriel's dismissal this. Otherwise, I'm never gonna be able to ping it with the GT this turn. But I have to like burn the Galadriel's dismissal, and then next turn pro white attack with the Ocelot Pride, put the GT on it, and then ping the Philbender and upkeep, and then like we're still kind of behind. You just like Manriki's my GT after that, but I feel like I can't really let this Oswald just kind of run away with the game. If we draw Ravages of War, love to see it. Perfect card to draw when you're on 2 lands on turn 4. This cat token attack was actually kind of stupid because if the opponent blocks the Helitrooper, I actually have to like kill the Helitrooper or kill the Oswald. I can't kill both. But he opts to just like trade off the Indebted Spirit instead. But yeah, we have to kill this Oswald, otherwise he just like he tinkers the Lava's for Boots into GTA and just like murders me. I sit here thinking about whether or not I can like use the GTA to like let the Oswald do its thing, and then try to get some like use the triggers to like stop the equipment from connecting or something. But it's kind of just need to hope my opponent just like doesn't draw anything, use this to clear the Oswald, and then get the Manriki, or get the GTA killed by the Manriki, and just kind of, I don't know. This game's messy. We're here fumbling around, missing land drops. Lava's for Boots has gone back and forth a dozen times over the course of this game. Helitroopers suited up, ready to shoot my GTA and block anything. This next turn is where I think I may have fumbled a bit. I'm honestly not sure where the other path what this game looks like if I like go down the other path. And I'll obviously never know, but this is an interesting inflection point of the game. Eventually, when it gets to my turn. Yeah, he only has one card in hand, and we draw a third land, and it's Urza's Saga. These are all like really, really good things combined together. The debate, I don't know. I don't even know if there are any real other options here. You kind of just have to Skyclave the Manriki. We can't Skyclave the Helitrooper even if we wanted to, right? Because it's got Ward 1 here. The only other option to Skyclave something is maybe the Cloud, but the way that this game currently looks, it's possible we don't even need to like we could just try to win on board and not even beat the Manriki, not even like have to deal with the Manriki, but we also have Pure Steel Paladin in hand and a Cloud we've never cast yet, and the ability to maybe go get like Skull Clamp off the Urza Saga, things that like don't really want the Manriki in play. But like Saga plus Ocelot Pride, we could maybe cook something there if my opponent like misses for a little bit. My opponent does not miss. They drop pre-war firmware for the Oswalds, which is extremely bad for me. And it's like, well, at least we're still like at 16 life. And then I remember that Helitrooper has some flavor text, in fact. When it attacks, it gets to jump another thing, and they gave their Oswald haste. So we're actually just fucking taking 7 out of nowhere. We're at 9 life. Suddenly we're about to die. I can't like keep activating this Skrelv. Otherwise we are just gonna like take lethal here. So I think the plan here is to like make a construct. It's not even make a construct. I think it's like, is it play Pure Steel out here? Play Cloud out? I look at my deck, see what my options are for Cloud. Nothing's very good. We have this 8 in play, so if like my opponent had a GTA that hadn't connected or something, it would be nice. We have no creatures in the yard to like get Masterwork and end up have like a 1 mana Formal Wear, stuff like that. But yeah, this game, I think the Pro Formal Wear kind of just put this game away for me. Made a giant attacker to pressure my life total in tandem with the Helitrooper. Also gives them the ability to start welding stuff away. They can like just weld the Lava Spur Boots away for like GTA here and just kind of end the game now, right? Oh yes, well, probably you probably weld nesting bots at a Lava Spur Boots, but This game is mostly dead. I think my out here is like make a construct here, untap, go float mana, go get Skull Clamp, cast Pure Steel, and just like free equip Skull Clamps and try to like draw something. But at that point, we only have like 2 mana too. We have the colors floating off the Saga, and then like the ability to draw a land to play it. Then we'd have to draw like Plow and Solitude and another thing or something. I don't know. Maybe if we drew Plow and Solitude and Masterwork or something, we could cook something up. Hey, what's up, Jarvis? We're a ways away from my favorite round, which did not seem to be your favorite round, according to Blue Sky. That was round 6, I think. That was the semis? But yeah, we're pretty hosed here, I think. We just make a thing. And then, insult to injury, I believe this is when he casts Cathar Commando. Just absolute worst possible. Blows up my Saga. We have nothing now. We're just extremely dead. Can't even go for like the Skull Clamp Hail Mary line or anything. We're just dead, yeah. I think about not conceding. I think I like take a few more game actions because he's down like 4 minutes on clock to me, and this is game 1. Make my opponent think about how to utilize their Umazawa's GT or something. Like we can like free equip this Masterwork to like a construct, right? Because the construct's the 3/3. The aid means we can copy GT, free equip it to construct, and get like 2 counters, which like doesn't really do anything anyway. Given the state of the rest of the board. We're also at like 5 life. This Helltrooper can jump things. And then I missed the block nesting bot ping your own nesting bot line, which, I mean, again, like, we don't really have any avenues to beat any of this, so. Pings off the Ocelot Pride, meaning I don't gain the life, and then you literally just have attack with Helltrooper plus Oswald for 5, and plus Spirit Token for 6 in the air. That just kills me. Resubmit, down a game against Cloud with Manriki is not the place you really want to be. Game played out pretty awkwardly, though. The combination of, like, missing some land drops and just some really annoying things. Skip. Opponent drains our sideboarding clock. This hand is like pretty mediocre, but you can keep some pretty mediocre hands when you're on the play because you're just like so much more the aggressor. If you just have lands, you curve out pretty well. We have lands plus 1-drop. Enlightened Tutor can get like a variety of impactful cards in the matchup, whether that's just like going and getting the other equipment that you didn't grab with Cloud, Skull Clamp versus GT, or getting removal spells, stuff like that. This sounds like kind of weak, but I still keep it on the play. On the draw, I think I'd probably mulligan it. Turn 1 Skull Clamp is scary. Feels like it's a Skull Clamp game. Yeah. Not a GTA game. Next turn we have the ability to like just Hunted Witness clamp it. We also have the ability to go just Enlightened Tutor for GTA if we so choose. But it also just doesn't cast Cloud on turn 2, which means like something's up. He's got the ugliest clamp art out there. It's a pretty bad one. cards is unexpectedly absent the Skull Clamp, which is like kind of fine, not the biggest deal in the world. We have Forever Mantra up to protect, plus our useless white card. We're pretty ahead on board. Factory kind of a nuisance, because that means I can't attack with my 1/1s, but I mean, we can just retry the whole clamp plan. And then my opponent has Cathar Commando to kill my Skull Clamp again. But it's okay, we have Enlightened Tutor, so we could potentially Enlightened Tutor for Forge Anew to get it back a second time if we want. Or again, we can Enlightened Tutor for Jite here, because we have the 4 mana set up now, plus the Reverend Mantra to protect. Kind of depends a lot on what my opponent does. So Unfortunate instead of Cloud probably means that he just wants to cast more like white spells. Obviously can't utilize this colorless Pip very well. I keep meaning to cut my factory. What's the Skull Clamp from? It looks like probably the Tarkir, the new Tarkir EDH decks. Mine's from Final Fantasy, Jarvis. It's Genova. Come on. It's on theme with Cloud. It's Final Fantasy VII Skull Clamp. And then yeah, it was like white turn. So that's why he can't just cast Cloud here. It's a very small looking Skull Clamp at the moment. Yeah, like got deaded pretty hard. This does look like a pretty opportune moment to Jite them, I think. We have Reverend Mantra backup and the ability to attack. Or we Reverend Mantra this and then we have Skrelv backup, which makes more sense to me. We know one of my opponent's cards in hand is Umezawa's Jite here, so the other if they can't have like Solitude or something to stop me. So by saving the Skrelv, I can Enlighten Tutor for Jite, untap, play Jite, equip Jite to Cloud, give it pro white, attack, and like wrath them. This 100 Witness deck's pretty free, because I just get to like kill the Stoneforge Mystic if they block. Thoughts re Sid. Sometimes doesn't feel like Fortune is enough with a few artifact destruction / exiles in the meta. I mean, Sid doesn't do anything for exile anyway, but Sid's like another fine card. I had it in like early builds, but I ended up cutting it. Just didn't feel like a very impressive card to me. It's best in matchups that it's probably getting killed a lot anyway, right? It doesn't provide a lot of card advantage if you're playing just against like Kefka that has a bunch of shatters because they also have a bunch of removal spells. It's got some like nice text on it that it's an evasive card that you can equip. It like makes your equipment cheaper, so you can like line up your GT or your sword turns a little faster. It's a fine card to play. I'm not a huge fan. And my opponent's just dead. We have active. What was it? Sorry, I got distracted. We have like active Cloud plus GTA with 2 counters left over on it plus Scrub, whatever. Yeah, you guys saw it. Game was pretty over. And now we got game 3 on the draw against the Manriki build. Tough time. I guess Manriki's not like that impactful when you're on the draw because the Cloud Aggressor is usually just going to get GTA or Skull Clamp, right? It's usually when you're on the back foot that you want to go get a card like Manriki. Except just kidding, we're on the play because Gemstone Caverns is the fucking best card in the deck. God, I love Gemstone Caverns. Again, I don't remember like the specifics of some of these games. I had forgotten that game 3 was a Gemstone Caverns game. Gemstone Caverns is so nuts here. I think I pitched Enlightened Tutor. This hand is very good at doing a lot of things. Specifically, connecting on turn 2 with a Cloud holding a Jite. If we just go turn 1 Cloud, grab Jite, turn 2 place a Guardian, play Jite, equip a Cloud attack. By putting the Gemstone Caverns in play, we're losing on a card advantage, which we maybe can't afford with the Enlightened Tutor, and also just 2 removal spells is really good, especially Swift Reconfig. Swift Reconfig is one of the best answers to Cloud because it means they can't recast it later to generate more value. And Portable Hole is good at answering, GTs and Skull Clamps. in before I pitch something else. Just, but I was pretty confident that was the play. We draw March, which is also really good at answering both Cloud or equipment. This definitely feels like a GTA game to me because, like I just mentioned, if my opponent just taps out for Cloud, we just get to go Cigar to say GTA attack. And have 4 counters, which is very good. Gemstone Caverns feels like a card that should be hated by the Duel Commander community. My variance, I guess it takes us like pretty specific decks for it to be good. I think like it's obviously not good in every deck. It's a nice like windfall for monocolor decks specifically. You can get punishing as you go up in colors. Some of the 2-color decks play it and stuff. But it is a pretty. It's also like not. I wouldn't even say it's that high variance, right? It's mostly like just stealing the play. It's not like a huge power spike. Oh, maybe I'm wrong. Because it does feel like a huge power spike every time I have it in my opening hand with Cloud. But yeah, Gemstone is absolutely at its best in a deck like this, where you have a 2-drop commander specifically that recoups card advantage extremely well. Like, I was never even that impressed with Gemstone Caverns and Felia. Just like, oh, I get to cast my Felia on turn 1 instead, and then, like, it's still just exposed to remove the same, like, removal spells. It's not that exciting. Can jump it around some counter spells sometimes. But then just counter your flicker target afterwards. Stoneforge for GTA. Now the question is, I think I just jam here. We drew the 4th land, which is really nice, because it means if my opponent does block, then we just get to recast Cloud next turn anyway. Yeah. Not a ton of reason not to jam here. Even if I like try to remove the Stoneforge to keep the Cloud alive or something, my opponent can just always cast a card next turn. If my opponent has Solitude plus like Soul Land to get GTA online, it's not the end of the world because we have 2 GTA removal and our Cloud is like they don't get any GTA value. So, or if they just have like Masterwork for my GTA, stuff like that. We have plenty of removal in hand. Skull Clamp and GTA. These cards all make sense. Luckily, we have very good answers for everything here in our hand. We draw Masterwork, which is kind of cool. We can steal that Clamp if we want. Oh, we have... Oh. Sorry. We have a lot of options here on what we're doing. We have like 2 different cards that can tag the Skull Clamp. My gut is that I want to tag the Swift Reconfiguration on the Cloud, and then probably the March on the Skull Clamp, just because this March is more mana intensive. The difference between instant and sorcery speed can also be nice. Obviously, if they just like sit on this GTA for a little bit, it gets kind of bad for my portable hold. If I ever cast Cloud into the Stoneforge, they can just like play GTA, equip, attack. So I'm honestly not sure what I would do, what I did here. What I would do here. I guess we don't need to Swift reconfig this turn. We can... we don't technically need to cast anything. We could just pass. If I'm going to portable hole something, I might portable hole the Clamp. It's possible even portable hole the Cloud. No, I really want to Swift reconfig the Cloud. So they don't get the recast. Yeah, we just hold up Swift reconfig plus March. See if he wants to like draw 4 or something. Yeah. We can Swift reconfig in response. Tax a mana for free. And then this turn, I think I march the Stoneforge here. It's a little bit ballsy, but I like what I was talking about last turn, where my Cloud is threatened by the existence of GTA in my opponent's hand. I like my opponent, because my opponent passed with like no other creatures in play. So if we can just like kill the Stoneforge here with the March and then untap, we get a turn to cast Cloud and try to swing the advantage in our favor. I was a little scared of like Lion Sash here, but it's just sort of War and Peace. We draw our own Skull Clamp, which is fun. We have again Masterwork of Immunity to steal my opponent's Sword of War and Peace. Things that are nice. I think I get 4 more here. No, I get Sash, backup creature. I'm thinking about if my opponent manages to clear my cloud. It's probably with an exile card. It's unlikely to be with this GT, so I want to be able to deploy a new creature, especially a creature that has flash with the Sigarda's Aid. Because my goal here is to try to connect with this GT. Garrison Cat. At this point, I would be interested to see what his list was, because we're playing the sort of War and Peace. We saw the Oswald. We even saw like the Manrique starting, but we're also seeing Garrison Cat, a card that I don't see in the European lists that are playing like all the bad cards like Oswald. So I'm kind of confused on what his list is. Just like an unholy amalgamation of the two, but if that's the case, what cards aren't we like? What cards did he cut? And Cloud down. Pro white creatures, a little scary. We draw Crystal Vein, which is nice because as it currently sits, there's only one permanent in the graveyard, so Sash could not survive if my opponent just like slams GT. Although that's not technically the case, because we also have this Masterwork of Ingenuity for surprise +2/+2 by stealing my opponent's Sword of War and Peace and automatically equipping it to my Sash, which is pretty nice. Yeah, and the Solitude's already down here, so I don't have to be worried about like the free removal spell. It could be like Land plus Plow or something here, but in fact, maybe I was supposed to play around that. But I kind of wanted my opponent to burn their GT counters here, if at all possible. So we could always sack the Crystal Vein and then eat it here to play around the double ping off GT, if we didn't have the Masterwork, that is. But kind of just wait for my opponent to make a move. If he tries to double ping, we can just cast Masterwork instead. And this should be checkmate, especially because we have portable hold to answer his GTA. We'll have a Sword of War Piece and a GTA on our Sash. His Cloud's out of commission because of the Swift reconfig. Eat that for fun. And then he concedes. We did it. Managed to win game 3 on the draw versus the Manrique deck. But like I said, the Manrique, like, not super relevant necessarily in that game when we're on the draw. Although we were on the play, kind of, because of the whole the Gemstone Caverns. Although, what did he get with the Cloud? He drew the Skull Clamp naturally, right? What did he get off the 1 Cloud trigger? I don't remember. I don't think it was the Sword of War and Peace, because I didn't know about that. I only knew about the GT. Yeah. Oh, we gotta expedite this. Match 3. Playing against Aragorn. Finally a non-cloud matchup. I unfortunately have to mulligan that, like, very good hand. Winter Moon's, like, really, really, really good versus Aragorn. We have a bunch of, like, cheap, powerful cards. But we're on the play. I probably wouldn't keep this even on the draw, but it's definitely more tempting. We just mulligan. And then we have another one-lander. On this hand against Aragorn, I kind of have to keep reluctantly. We have, like, Drum to, like, try to cobble together something. I bought him Lay Down Arms. I maybe wanted to bought him Unexpectedly Absent, but I was probably prioritizing removal that could target Aragorn. We luckily top deck lands 2. We unluckily get 1 mana removal spell, 1 mana counter spelled. Pretty terrible for me. They have like 5 or 6 of them though, so it's like not the highest variance stuff. me just cast some shitters here. We'll probably end up disrupting Fluting Aragorn next turn. This Mistress Factory is both kind of weird. I didn't expect to see it in an Aragorn list. We draw Armageddon, very ironically. It's very weird and also very annoying because I can't attack through it. We could, like, Disrupt or Flute it, but that seems kind of horrible. Have this awkward tension of, like, I want to unexpectedly absent this, but then they just draw it and flash it back in. So I can unexpectedly absent it on their end step, I guess, and if it gets countered, it's not the end of the world. We can, like, try to rip land in Armageddon. They'd also miss land drop, notably. Big. We get to continue to not attack into this fucking factory. I end up disruptor fluting the Hull Breacher here. Because I know it's the top card of their deck now that they've cycled. I just, like, don't really want it back in play, especially with my Esper Sentinel. And obviously, my hand's, like, pretty good against Aragorn. We miss on land again. Things aren't that good. My opponent's also missing on land, so they're not that bad either, but this Mistress Factory is just completely brick-walling me. Yeah, like, if they could just cast Hull Breacher there. Although we have Solitude, I guess it's not the end of the world, but... have to burn our Solitude. Flage. Absolute nightmare that we got the Ghost Vacuum counters. And then get flaged. Luckily, my opponent's Flage hard casting mana is completely fucking awful. Unfortunately, my opponent has Pyrogoyf after the Flage. Things are bad. We continue to, like, this would be a good time to have drawn the 4th land and get in them and Solitude this Pyrogoyf and then just try to, like, rip lands a little bit better than my opponent. But then that stuff doesn't happen. And then we get Fury and it's time. I've had enough of this game. Sometimes the games just don't work out the way you want. We're on the play. Sounds good. Jam Skull Clamp before Indebted Spirit to play around, like, removal, stuff like that. I maybe misplay this. I don't know. I take this opportunity to just try to cast Cloud while my opponent has no mana available, rather than, like, maybe I'm just supposed to, like, jam Indebted Spirit. Yeah, because then this stuff ends up happening. We can't really clamp Cloud here. I also play the wrong I play the wrong card here. I meant to play the Ghost Vacuum. I instead play the Soul Guide. Yeah, now it's, like, kind of terrible for me because we're pretty forced into just clamping our Cloud to, like, continue to try to play this game. But then my opponent just has, like, a huge board and can, like, just try to recoup card advantage with Aragorn. But then the thing about, like, having Ghost Vacuum in play is that it's, like, insurance for leaving Cloud in the graveyard versus counterspell matchups like this, where we could, like, it would try to 4-more it back, but if the 4-more gets countered, then we could just put it back in the command zone using the Ghost Vacuum. Soul Guide Lantern, unfortunately, does not have that luxury, because it can only target opponents' graveyards once it's in play. And then Force Negation. We have Lion Sash, so it's not the end of the world. We can still get the Cloud back in the command zone. But if we just fucking played Ghost Vacuum, it'd be nice. And also, like, we just have a bunch of land drops. Ghost Vacuum would be really good at just rebuilding a board state, while Soul Guide instead does nothing. Kind of just need to continue to... Okay, yeah. This was also probably a misplay. I don't know if I'm supposed to do this. Maybe I'm supposed to get like a 1-drop and, like, make a flyer here and try to, like, draw out of this. But I was like pretty scared of the Aragorn. Also, if I'm planning on killing the Aragorn, I'm supposed to just like pop it before they untap or anything, and have the ability to have 4 spike Mana Tithe here. Again, now we have 3 cards in the creatures in the graveyard, and a bunch of lands. It'd be really nice if we just had like a soul guy eating all these up and then making a big board afterwards. I sit here thinking about like GT, blah blah blah, thinking about what my options are. Unfortunately, if I like play GTA equip attack and they block with a Cat Warrior, Apnap means that their Johnny flips before I can ping it with. It was always GTA. Fourth card in the graveyard would be really good. And then Ghost Vacuum. Still pretty good here. Gets Mental Misstepped. Just disaster after disaster. I have to like cycle this fucking useless Soul Guide Lantern. We have no creatures. 3 equipment. Yeah, I think I played this game pretty badly at like several different instances. Something's happening eventually, maybe? I played perfectly and got unlucky. You're right, Jarvis. Classic Geddon versus, like, creature deck situation. I do think the Geddons are good, just, like, sometimes they can be really awkward. But if you're ahead, or, like, at parity, the Geddons are really good. We just disrupt Flute Aragorn so that my opponent can't, like, just land drop recast Aragorn and just put me completely in the dirt. My Cloud's now stranded at the graveyard because my opponent has killed both of my other graveyard cards. Yeah, we're just super fucking dead here. Sure. Cathar Commando. Yeah, I've had enough of this game. We'll move on. We die. Is what it is. Learn from your mistakes, folks. Play tight, get rewarded. Play loose, get punished. I think we could play. The game 1 just went really badly. I think game 2 I could have played like much better in several instances. I think I was probably supposed to just not cast Cloud. I think I was supposed to just like Indebted Spirit, draw 2 immediately, start generating that value, make a flyer as well. If I'm like drawing 2 cards and next turn I cast the Cloud and then my opponent counterspells it, and then I still have like the flyer, I can like draw another 2 cards potentially, stuff like that. I'm already like plus 2 cards. They have to like use that Sword Splashes elsewhere. If you play better, you win. Yeah, I think I definitely can win that game too if I played better at like several different instances. I think just as simple as like casting the right card, casting the Ghost Vacuum over the Lantern, which is what I planned to do, and then my brain just like glitched for a second and I cast the wrong card. I think if I just play the Ghost Vacuum, I think I still can win that game. Because there's a point where I could have just eaten the Cloud, eaten the Recruiter, eaten the Solitude, eaten the Lion Sash, and just like made 4 guys and killed one of their guys and stuff. The Vacuum would have like single-handedly changed that game. Alright, unfortunate 1-lander on the play versus Ketramos. Unfortunate 1-lander on the play versus Ketramos. Luckily, if there's a deck that mulligans well, it's Cloud. Cloud is really good at mulliganing, especially if in matchups where your Skull Clamp is less likely to be like pressured by a counterspell or something. So you can definitely recoup from these games by just like abusing the shit out of Skull Clamp. I just don't get why people like Ketramos. It's like really sick in theory. It just like weirdly didn't pay off nearly as much as I expected it to. Like, kind of hard to interact with commander that generates a ton of card advantage and like life gain and stuff is like it checks a lot of boxes. Greatest potential man ever. Wow, that is real. I should make the potential man meme for Ketramos. And people thought that thing was gonna be nuts, and then it was like pretty good in modern and not very playable anywhere else. People thought it was gonna be nuts in dual, like break dual commander, be good, really good in legacy. I thought it was like maybe gonna be good in legacy, and then it like wasn't. And then it was like pretty decent in Modern. Potential Man Meme with Ketramos is so fucking good, though. I need to make that. Zen's pretty nice, though. Given that I have Draenith Magistrate, I think I'd just rather have like played Mom on turn 1, because if you like Mom plus Draenith Magistrate against Ketramos, it can be really fucked up. But like, I'll take this. I've never seen Tival's Judgment in my life, but it seems like a really good card for a Ketramos deck. I hovered over it for like a split second. I will hover it over it again later, I'm sure. This is unfortunately not a hand that I have the luxury to play my Skull Clamp, like, wait on my Skull Clamp and tutor it around. Discard. We're on a mull to 5 here. I just need to, like, grab Skull Clamp, hope it dodges, and then next turn start clamping cats. That's just how the cookie crumbles on your mull to 5. There we go. Whenever a card leaves your graveyard, choose one that has been chosen this turn. You can draw a card, make a token, or make a 2/2. This card just like seems pretty solid in Ketramos deck, because obviously you just have like all the little doodads that exile cards from graveyards, Relic and Ghost Vacuum and Agatha's Soul Cauldron and Scrabbling Claws and all the other ones. Demonic Tutor. I imagine this is just going to be like Toxic Deluge or something. Someone's going to wrath me. That was my guess. I almost wonder if it should have just gotten like... I mean, obviously I don't know the context of my opponent's hand, but I wonder if it should have just gotten like Grief or something just to take the Skull Clamp. But it's possible they were worried about just getting browned by this Ocelot Pride beatdown. I also do, I think, a dumb thing here, which is play Benevolent Bodyguard to play around, like, Snuff Out or something. But I, like, I literally just deduced that I think my opponent got, like, Toxic Deluge, and I just played my 1/1 for no reason. Not that it matters, I'm just gonna, like, refuel, draw 4. Like, if they have Snuff Out for the Cloud, we still just draw 2. It's not a big deal. I just don't think there's a reason to play the Benevolent Bodyguard. But, again, we just, like, cast Super Ancestral Recall. Even if they have a Wrath, it's kind of completely fine. Meathook Massacre, which is, I guess, the same as Toxic Deluge, but it's, you know, sits in play. It's a little bit better. Sack my Bodyguard before, so they gain 1 less life. Checkmate opponent. I think this is just Cloud again. No, it's not. Oh, yeah, I want to Draenith Magistrate this turn, because this might be like a Ketramos turn. And I get to put a clamp on it, so if it gets killed, I get to draw 2 more. And I'm holding up Enlightened Tutor here, because I want to go E-Tutor for something. Maybe Winter Moon, maybe Urza's Saga, maybe... something else. I was going to hold up Galadriel's Dismissal, which could protect the Draenith. To maybe stop the Ketramos if they spend like 2 mana trying to kill it or something like that. Congrats, you passed the hearing test. Yes, there was in fact a cat. I sit here and tank on whether or not I want to cast Enlightened Tutor. So I go back to my own deck list, because my opponent cast Voice of Victory, so I have to decide now. I think I opt to just not Enlightened Tutor for anything, because I can always upkeep it if I'm like looking for something if I never remove the Voice of Victory. But I don't really want anything with this E-Tutor necessarily, so I just don't cast it. And my opponent Hymn to Tarax me, which is great. It actually doesn't take anything that relevant. The best cards in my hand are sort of Feast of Famine and Enlightened Tutor. I kind of wish I had Enlightened Tutor for Urza Saga here, though, because it would be really nice to have guaranteed 5th land. But then we just draw 5th land anyway, like a skilled Magic player. Looking back on this, though, so I want to equip attack here to force my opponent to block with the Voice of Victory. It's probable that I wanted to just attack and draw 4 instead, right? Oh, no, wait, hang on. No, this is not... I thought my own card was a Voice of Victory or something for some reason. Never mind. Yeah, never mind. This is fine. I totally blanked on that. I thought my 1-3 was the same as their 1-3. Yeah, this is good. This is a good play. Good job, me. And now this thing is pro black, which means it's harder for them to kill and get their catcher most in play and online. But then they have the white removal spell. A little bit unfortunate. It is funny that Drannith Magistrate is very killable. Now it's my time to Enlighten Tutor, because we have 6 mana, so we can Enlighten Tutor for a 1-drop removal spell for Ketramos and play my Cloud. Because of the Springleaf Drum. We just go get Portable, or not Portable, Onthanice. I think about Wintermoon. Wintermoon, pretty decent here, but it doesn't let me double spell, which I think is more important. I also was not sure what to get with this Cloud. I think it's possible I just wanted to get Lion Sash here for the same reason I got Lion Sash back in that like match 1, or I think it is match 2. Just have additional bodies in case the Cloud gets removed again. But like it's been like 6 turns or something, and my opponent hasn't played any of the Graveyard Hate doodads yet. So I get maybe a little greedy and get pre-roll Formular here instead of Lion Sash. Because pre-roll Formular is obviously just going to be way better if I can resolve it. And get the creature back. But obviously if my opponent has one of the many graveyard removal cards in Ketramos, then I just get super punished for putting this in my hand. So, but they would need to have that, and they would need to have a removal spell for Cloud. It's like they have only 3 cards in hand right now, drawing to 4. It's like kind of a tall order for them. So I opted for the higher upside play. I'm not confident that that's right, though. And they immediately play Agatha Soul Cauldron. I'm very sad. Get rid of my upkeep stop. I forget to float mana here like a dunce. Means that I have to tap my Ranger Captain, which means I take more additional damage from the Bowmaster, and not really that big a deal, but there's obviously no reason not to do this. Cloud dead. We can at least play the Ranger. The Ranger Captain top deck here is like a massive reward because they did in fact have the removal spell post the Graveyard Hate thing to punish my pre-roll Formular grab. So being able to fighting Ranger Captain and getting multiple creatures here is enormous. The fact that they have specifically Bowmasters means I don't really want to get a Doomed Traveler because my Skull Clamp's going to be offline for a little bit. I just want to get protection-y stuff, make it easier for me to start connecting with sort of Feast and Famine. Play Scrabbling Claws. They have no cards in hand, and we draw Urza Saga, which is the nut. We have active Mother of Runes. We get to attack with sort of Feast and Famine, replay Cloud. I debate that turn on whether or not I'm supposed to like just cast a Formal Wear to get it out of my hand to potentially like start equipping it after that. I opt not to, though. Now we get the Jite to clear up the Bowmaster. Yeah. They act the Soul Cauldron their own creature, make their guys bigger. My opponent and I both fumble here because Neither of us see that they can Soul Cauldron my Benevolent Bodyguard and, like, potentially, like, try to force a connection with a Barrogoyf that matters a lot or something. It just, like, is pretty free to exile my Benevolent Bodyguard right now. And then they target me with the Scrabbling Claws, and I could have exiled my Benevolent Bodyguard to play around that, and then I forget. So I don't do that either. A fairly forced block here. If they top deck exactly a removal spell, it's kind of bad news. If they don't, then it has to be like instant speed removal too. Or I guess white removal. But white removal wouldn't put it in the graveyard for the Soul Cauldron. Drannith is nothing. Drannith is a blocker, I suppose. And then they activate the Scrabbling Claws again, so I realized that I should exile my Benevolent Bodyguard. So I yoink that one. They cycle and then they play out their land, which means, and then we also draw a River Mantra, which just means we're super home free now, and we have Cloud plus sort of Feast of Famine plus Urza Saga on 2. We get to just like live the absolute fucking dream. We just get to go crazy here. This block doesn't really make any sense to me, but sure. Oh, they plan on making it a 2-4 or whatever, but we get a GTA with 4 fucking counters on it. It doesn't matter. Sort of Feast of Famine plus Cloud plus Urza Saga goes real hard. I think very briefly, if I'm supposed to like sack my Ranger Captain and then formal it back while their Agatha Soul Cauldron is tapped just to get more value, but I don't think it matters at all. I think this game is just super over. We have 2 giant constructs. We get to make another giant construct. They're just dead. Immediate resubmit. Want to run on the clock again. Sideboard clock. Hand is fine. Double Protector's nice. Aid's also nice. Opponent weirdly just F6 value, I guess. Sorcery Speed Surveils. I feel like the top card, maybe there's like no world where the top card of your library changes. Your decision changes based on what your opponent plays on turn 1. I don't know. March my thing, totally fine. Kind of want to get protection guys online, play my Cloud, or drawing Forge New means playing my Skull Clamp around discard matters a little bit less. This is a pretty sick turn though, because now we get to have Skull Clamp plus Cigar's Aid plus Cloud, so Skull Clamp is a protection spell here against my opponent's removal. If my opponent goes like Fatal Push or Sword Splashes or whatever, we just get to Clamp Cloud in response. Very fun interaction. And if my opponent doesn't kill my Cloud, then we get to go land 4 and threaten Sword of Fire and Ice instead. And then if we attack Sword of Fire and Ice, then they removal spell, then we get to, do the Clamp, draw 4, blah, blah, blah. Life's great. Kitty, enough. Go bug your mom. Come on. Waiting. Skip forward several minutes. I don't know what my opponent's doing. Oops, sorry. Alright. And then we enact that plan. Kind of awkward I waited so long on my factory. I really want to play it out this turn to threaten equips, given the cloud maybe about to die, but it would have been nice to like hold up a Ganjo Castle there potentially instead. But I guess we're just always casting sort of Fire and Ice, so the Ganjo Castle doesn't really matter. And now we get to do the thing. They Fatal Push, we in response draw 4. Or potentially bait out like a Source of Plowshares. And we just have a fully stocked hand. My opponent has 2 cards. Notably, there are a Ketramos deck, so like they have 2 cards in the Agatha Soul Cauldron, so they can draw something, but we have plenty of removal spells for a Ketramos now. A lot of ability to reload. Things are looking pretty good for us. I briefly read Abstergo Entertainment before getting bored halfway through the activated ability. We also just draw Ontanice, which is like the best removal spell. I'm about to lay down Armed, and I'm like, wait, Ontanice better. We have so many planes that lay down Arms probably kills everything, and O-Rings are just always better against commanders. Just want to like pressure a lot, draw more cards, rather than just like cast Nesting Bot or whatever. Draw 2 cards with Skull Clamp, move to discard. Taval's Judgment plus Agatha Soul Cauldron, a little bit scary. But we're just, like, massively ahead on the endgame engines here. Dig for, like, more stuff to cast. I sit here thinking about whether or not I'm going to animate Factory into a active planes. Like, I just, like, cast Cloud and discard 2. Just, like, doesn't really matter. We have a bunch of lands in hand we can discard. We go get... What do we get here? Feast of Famine, Pro Black. Seems fine. Feels like all roads lead to Rome here at this point. Like, yeah, my opponent has like drawn back up to 7 cards or whatever, but our card advantage engines are much more insurmountable. A little surprised that they kill Cloud instead of Clamp, but I guess if they don't have a removal spell for Cloud, then it's just going to go crazy with Swords. We get Mind Twisted, discards 3 cards, just doesn't really matter. We draw Hand of Vecna, which is maybe lethal here? No? Maybe this is lethal? I don't know. No, it was only 9 damage? It is whatever. I guess Hand of Vecna wasn't lethal. We just get to, like, untap, play Cloud again, put them to 2 with, like, 3 lethal creatures in play. 2 lethal creatures in play plus a Factory. Get boots, sure, yeah. Haste is nice. Clamp the servo, just in case. And this game, I mean, the writing's on the wall here. Opponent can like try to do something here. Demonic Bargain for Wrath or something. I don't even know what Wrath they could have. They just cast Demonic Tutor and then concede. Easy peasy. And then we are surprised to me at the time. I'm like, oh, everybody dropped. Isn't that weird? Everyone dropped to put the top 8. I was like, oh wait, no, this was exactly 16 players, which means it was just a 4-round event. It's fun. So we just get into the top 8. Easy peasy. And we get to be on the play for at least our first match because we're 4th seed. Shout out Daybreak for finally implementing that. So many years on Magic Online without that. We are in the Cloud Mirror again. Hand is not great, but I think it's keepable. We get to be the Cloud player with the turn 1 Lava Spur Boots now. It's weird that that's happened like 3 times during this challenge. Oh wait, no wonder it's going so slow. I forgot to do ×2 speed. There we go. Oop, sorry. Boots. See what my opponent wants to play. If they play like a Mom or something, we might march it. Otherwise, we just get to cast our own Cloud. I opted for this to be a Cloud game. We're pretty like tight on mana. I kind of just want to draw some cards. We miss. Things look not great. We kind of just need to hit our land drop. And my opponent Solitude's my Cloud, which I guess isn't the worst outcome. Certainly not the best outcome, but we were going to have to like discard. We were going to draw up to 10 and play a land down to 9, play cast card down to 8. Okay, we actually would only discard like 1 card. Would have been really nice, but doesn't happen. We miss again. It would have been really nice to Skyclave that Umezawa's Jite. But we at least draw a thing, so we can draw 4 here, right? After we like clamp the Traveler and then draw a land, and then miss on land 3 after drawing an extra 2 cards is pretty terrible. My opponent has active Jite. Things are very bad. Block, because otherwise I might as well kill the Cloud here, and they're going to get a bunch of Jite counters. Now what I'm supposed to do here is, I think... well, I guess spoilers what I do here. I think I'm supposed to, honestly, with 2 cards in their hand, I think I want to march, pitch a white card, maybe probably the Wisp of the Ranger Captain. I want to Masterwork their Jite, march their Jite, and then just cast like Esper Sentinel here and threaten with my own Jite. For some reason, like at the very beginning of this tanking, I'm like, okay, don't play the Skyclave because the Skyclave just like lets the Jite counters trade with something. Lets them like just clear my board. And then at some point during the tanking process, I just kind of forget about that. I'm like, okay, I'll just play the Skyclave and kill the Jite, and then they just get to like kill the Skyclave and gain 4 life, which isn't the best exchange of resources here because it means they can start accruing card advantage with Glimmerlens. Also, shout out to the 3rd Cloud player in a row that's like playing the bad version of the Cloud list, Thraben Inspector. I'm not as much of a hater of Glimmerlens. I think this card is like fine-ish. I think the Thraben Inspectors are fucking awful. And obviously, you play them to help support like the Oswald pivot, but I think the Oswald pivot is also kind of fucking awful, so... And then Sword of War and Peace, sure, whatever. Kind of shocked they don't just get like Clamp or whatever, something. Yeah, it would have been much nicer here if we just like had a Jite and an Esper Sentinel in play to like equip attack. Oh, we have like Hasty Mom here, which is pretty nice. Get to hold up March as well. This turn works out fucking amazing for me. I just sit there and decide on like which cards I'm going to pitch here, but like the fact that you wouldn't have won this event without people playing the bad version of Cloud, that's probably right. If they were playing the good version of Cloud, there are a lot of more Cloud mirrors I might have lost. Oh, they would have just banned Clamp if people played the good list. That's also fair. But they just... My opponent just attacks with a Cloud holding a Sword of War and Peace, and we have the maximum punish, where we get to exile the Sword of War and Peace, block, tap Mom, kill the Cloud for free. Be really nice to like draw land 4 at some point here. Get the cloud going again, get our own GT. Again, if I just converted this Masterwork of Ingenuity into a GT, it would have been really nice, but I didn't do that. I wasn't sure if I was supposed to hold up Plow there or like just move the boots over to the cloud. With the active Mom, I'm not really sure what the boots are doing, but I'm also not really sure what the holding up the Plow is going to do, so... Enough. It's time for GT. And we just, like, we full send here, pretty happy to just trade with whatever if they want to block. I don't want to proactively use my Mom versus 4 open mana. And pretty badly for me, they have Unexpectedly Absent. Pretty good for me, they don't overpay, so it's just on the top of my deck, which is pretty nice. Not really, do they have, they might have like another thing to cast here, I forget. Yeah, they do. Ill's Crack Clue Token. I think I would have put the GT down further rather than crack that Clue Token. The fact that I can just untap and just threaten the GT again next turn seems not great for them. Also, this entire game, I've completely forgotten that I can just Masterwork of Ingenuity this Glimmer Lens, which I may have wanted to do, like, 4 turns ago or something. Like, the turn I equipped the Boots to Cloud for no reason, I was maybe just supposed to, you know, like, make a 2-2. This is a very funny, get-in, though. I guess that's why they put the GT on the top to try to, like, brick my draws. Their plan was just to get in me. Our board's pretty good, though. A little bit better than theirs. Also, if we draw any lands, they're just fucking dead, because we have, like, Ocelot Pride Skull Clamp to draw out of this much better than them. Really bad for me if the top card of my land deck is not a land there, because we get, like, ousted, and then we miss, and then we have to draw the Mom again, and we miss again. Luckily, the top card of my deck is Plains. So we can start to draw out of this. I just take this turn to recast the Mom, I think. Start doing like the Mom activation so I can get the cats going again to, you know, have infinite Skull Clamp fodder. My opponent wants to start drawing cards with Glimmer Lens, so I find that this is probably a pretty reasonable use of Solitude. And then they immediately, like, punish by playing Mom. I feel a little dumb. I also, like, can't attack with my Pride into the Mishra's Factory anyway. But I guess I had a Plow to stop that, potentially. But now we have to Plow the Mom instead. There's another point where I could have probably just played the fucking Masterwork of Ingenuity and copied their Glimmer Lens. And then I have, like, a 2-2. Oh, no, this works too. Wait, no, it doesn't. Because it's a 3-1. Or it's a 3-3. Mishra's Factory blocks as a 3-3. This, I don't know what I'm doing. I just still have not realized that I can Masterwork this Glimmer Lens. We rip land for the Saga, which is just the absolute nuts, and that probably seals the deal. We just get to make some giant guys, or a giant guy, because this means that we finally have 4 mana, and we can get the GT online, right? Yes. Tap the Pride. Equip the GT to the Construct. Punch him. Game over. I mean, they can have removal as last card. I don't know. I guess I have active mom. Never mind. Yeah, they're just dead. Nice. Hand is pretty bad in the mirror. Hand's also pretty bad in the mirror. On the draw, on the mulligan, we have a lot of like very good cheap removal and Benevolent Bodyguard. So I do have to keep this one. We immediately draw the worst possible card. Very unfortunate. If we rip land exactly this turn, maybe I'm supposed to like mulligan more aggressively. The Cloud Mirror is like, I talked about how you can mulligan pretty aggressively because Skull Clamp can dig you out of holes, but also you're playing a Cloud Mirror. Skull Clamp can also just bury you. Things don't look good for our hero here after we miss. But we have, you know, Swift Reconfig for the Cloud, Seam Rip for the GTA, so it's not the end of the world. Esper Sentinel's really fucking annoying, though. Be nice to rip land here. We don't, so we have to let them draw a card. Just answer the GTA. This game, oh god, I don't think there's gonna be a lot to say about this game. I need to go to the bathroom, so I think I'm just gonna like let this play and run to the bathroom. This game doesn't end very soon, but the fact that we like missed the land drop the first couple of turns just means that it's very obviously just not gonna go very good. You guys can kind of see for yourselves why. Run to the bathroom for a quick moment. We're still in game 2, huh? Things don't look good. Parallax Wave keeping us slightly above, our head slightly above water, but the Hardcast Solitude is a really brutal turn, I recall. Kitty, get out of here. Reorient myself with how this game's going. Bad. We don't really have a lot of avenues to victory. We get Orums chanted. Things look bad. We draw Solitude. This is maybe something. We can, like, on their turn, Solitude, use the last Parallax Wave counter to exile our own Solitude, go to 1 off the attacks, and then our Solitude comes back and exiles another one of their things. Maybe something like that. And then they have Forever Mantra. And then I think about conceding, and then I realize that I'm not dead, and I'm playing for a clock here, because Duel Commanders online is like super clock oriented sometimes. So I might as well just drag the game out a little bit longer. I'm ahead like 4 minutes on clock. But yeah, we're pretty toast. Clamp the Cat. Let's top deck Terminus after we've already drawn a card. Going to game 3. Hopefully not mulliganing a bunch and keeping a one-lander. Hand's great. Unfortunate that we have the Gems of Caverns on the draw on the play this time, but we still take these. Hand's very good. We have Witch Enchanter. Get E-Tutor. Natural GT. Although I'm not sure what this E-Tutor is getting now that we have, because we have the two main things you want are the GT and the Clamp. And then we draw the Clamp. Have I ever bestowed Indebted Spirit? I have. I've never bestowed Indebted Spirit on Cloud and then have him be equipped and then he dies and I get double afterlife triggers. That's something that a dream I've never lived before. But I've bestowed Indebted Spirit mostly to like when I'm ahead and just trying to like push a little bit of damage. Just kind of like 1 damage with haste instead. What's happening in this game? I go for Formal Wear because I drew my other best equipment that I was going to go get. And at some point, there's a good chance that my Cloud will just attack in and have to die, and then we can maybe Formal Wear it back. We draw another bad card. Would really like land 4. Hey, get your claws out of that so you don't tear it up. And get out of here. Bestowing on anything feels like win more. Yeah, you usually only do it when you're ahead. Get out of here. Opting for sorcery. So, hang on, let's rewind. I got a little bit sidetracked here. So, missing that 4th land drop here. I'm against a Giver of Runes. I don't have any like good removal. I opt for Skull Clamp specifically to try to like dig myself into a situation where I can start firing back. I also don't know what they tutored GT here. Sorry, I didn't pop that out during the match. But I think I just want to like I'm not fighting the GT battle. I just kind of want to fight them on resources here instead, and also ensure that I hit all of my land drops in the coming turns. We obviously could have like instead of this line. Just played out GTA, held up E-Tutor for like a removal spell, like on Thin Ice, but then they can still just pro-white the Cloud when I'm on Thin Ice, and then I can't like equip attack, so things still aren't very good for me. I like this play. It's unfortunate that we didn't hit any 1s. I just have to like sorcery speed this Enlightened Tutor in order to discard less. Which is probably fine, given that we can hit a bunch of land drops now. We just want to E-Tutor for the best possible card we can draw. Which I think also is probably wrong. I think I should have just gotten on Thin Ice. I think about Disruptor Flute for maybe their GT. I end up on Parallax Wave, which I don't think I like, actually, just because it's so mana-intensive, and we just put, like, a billion cards in our hand, right? It'd be really nice if I just grab on Thin Ice, and we can, like, on Thin Ice this Giver, plus Formal Wear the Cloud, or something like that. Or like on Thin Ice Giver, hold up a Gonjo, hit the Cloud if they like GTA equip. They steal my boots, which is really bizarre to me. Didn't really understand that play. I guess maybe they just wanted to cycle, but then you just get the Clamp. The Clamp's so broken. I don't know. Maybe they thought they could, like, free equip. And they were gonna, like, protect the Giver from the Parallax Wave this turn. Do people ever grab Skull Clamp with Cloud, or are they allergic to the broken card? I think all of my opponents have almost exclusively grabbed GT in all of my matches. I take a little bit of unnecessary damage here. I think I should have just popped the Giver and the Pure Steel Paladin, because I'm always going to do that. And I also forget that this thing triggers Pure Steel Paladin here, and then I fumble this, let them draw a card for no reason, so that's fun. I'm mostly concerned with thinking about, like, when they get to Metalcraft and start getting free equips, I'm like, oh, they only have 2 artifacts, but I forget that they just get the draw. I should have definitely just popped the Giver and the Pure Steel here. This seems like a good turn for... Oh, this is the word. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. I'm sitting here trying to think of, like, what my lines are here. And then I sit here thinking about it. I'm like, all right, the sash is turning off the formal wear, so I'm like, I was gonna pop all these anyway. So we just shoot the Giver, shoot the Pure Steel, shoot the Lion Sash. We don't even have to shoot the Pure Steel yet. Shoot the Giver, shoot the Lion Sash. They probably just eat the Cloud and the sort in response, and then we can do other things. We can like play out GTA, play out Ghost Vacuum, stuff like that. But I have another brain short circuit moment, and I just fucking cast Formal Wear into the onboard Lion Sash. And then I keep mousing over the Lion Sash like the fool that I am. Horrible, horrible punt. Sometimes it happens. Luckily, we still have Philia, which is extremely broken here. Glimmer Lens. Now I want to start shooting things before my opponent can get Metalcraft. God, egregiously bad punt. And they tap out fully, which is just so fucking good for me. They get sort of Fire Knife, sure, whatever. My opponent's still allergic to putting Soul Clamp in their hand. Because, notably, this Parallax Wave has 0 fading counters on it now. But we have Ophelia in play. And we also top deck the best possible card, Pure Steel Paladin, which lets me free equip a bunch of shit onto my Ophelia and protect it from attacking into a bunch of creatures. We get this GTA free equip. I look like a genius for putting this Formal Wear in play because now my Ophelia is gigantic and can attack and flicker my Parallax Wave into their creatures and then still, like, be big enough that it survives. Well, it would get, like, quad blocked and I would trade for, like, their entire board, basically, and I'd still have my Parallax Wave. But, like, I just look like a fucking genius here. Everything's great. We get 2 GTA counters. We get our Parallax Wave back at full. I debate the merits of holding my Aganjo or playing it out. But fuck, if that Pure Steel Paladin draw wasn't the nut. Now we have GTA to put their other cards under control, and we get to like start exiling their non-ETB creatures. GTA handles their GTA or their Sword of Fire and Ice, stuff like that. And we're living the dream. It's possible. I definitely should have just clamped this. I don't know why I didn't. I have 1 card in hand. I could have just like free clamped the Indebted Spirit and probably the other token too. They have War and Peace, sure. All these equipment that aren't Skull Clamp. Not that Skull Clamp would save them at this point, but they have a Skrell. This game's super over. We get to the Witch Enchanter, the Sword of War and Peace, like, just in case. Just in case something happens, I don't even know. My opponent just gives up. Yeah. The Pure Steel draw was really, really good. You wanted Legacy D&T? Then fuck off. Go out to a different stream. Or wait 23 minutes, your choice. I think we're gonna. Why so rude? You come in here every week going, where's D&T? You know the terms of engagement here. You know by now. There's no reason to keep asking about it. Nothing's gonna change. We're going to the semifinals here. We do notably have 22 minutes until the LCQ. We unfortunately won't be able to finish the finals, so we will have to bleed a little bit into that. But we have plenty of time to cover the semis, and then quickly submit my LCQ list. Alright, so we are up against Lier. This hand is below, we're on the draw against Lier, which sucks. This hand's like a little bit below average, but I think it's like fine. We have weak graveyard hate, but we have the ability to like stop the second high tide graveyard hate and also keep like their cantrips to a minimum. And we also notably have, you know, Sigard's Aid, so we can threaten more impactful equips with like proactive equips with Cloud and stuff. I probably should have just played Aid. I don't really know why I didn't. Get to eat the peak, I guess. We try Esper Sentinel, which is nice here, because it lets me just, like, double spell here and not just cast a Cloud into a potential counter. Esper Sentinel is letting us, like, tax their mana or cantrip off their cantrips. Tech Edge, a complete blank. We descend it. And cast our Cloud here. I think I'm supposed to just get Skull Clamp here, honestly. I think I grabbed Sword of Fire. Oh, no, it just gets countered. Okay. Maybe I would have grabbed Skull Clamp if it resolved. Maybe I might have actually grabbed, like, Lion Sash. But I think, honestly, Skull Clamp might have been my best grab there. Especially with Aid. Just start drawing a bunch. Three-Oed Legacy Locals, nice. Unfortunate you won't make it for the LCQ. Get to keep eating away at their graveyard. We have cards to generate pressure at least. I think I'm maybe supposed to just get Skull Clamp here, honestly. Make it in time for the LCQ. I'm expecting to die in round 3. I don't think I've ever made it past round 3 of an LCQ in my life. I don't even know if I've made it past round 2. I think it's possible that I just want to have grabbed Clamp here and clamped for a better answer than just a single piece of, like, notably, like, pretty big graveyard hate. But I don't know if that's going to stop Lier at this stage of the game. Versus trying to clamp into, like, Ethersworn Canonist or Ranger Captain of Eos or Armageddon's or something like that. And then we just draw Skull Clamp, but life's easy. We just draw the card that I maybe should have tutored instead, and everything's great. So we can just have the best of both worlds, you know? We get to clamp, see what we find, and if we don't have anything, we can always just sash. Dig deep, clamp the Cloud. And then we draw Armageddon, which is really, really fucking good to draw here. No Fawn, no Force Spike. Game over, GG. Really good Skull Clamp to draw, and I probably should have got the Skull Clamp over the... There are like a good chunk of cards to dig for at that stage of the game. The two get-ins. I have like 6 draws towards Ethersworn Canonist or Ranger Captain of Eos. Enlightened Tutor also. I can draw 4, cast Enlightened Tutor, draw 2, play Ethersworn still. And yeah, they're just fucking dead as hell. Great fucking draw there. Don't have luck. The French will blame the win on that. The French will just be like, oh, we just played a bunch of Cloud Mirrors. Doesn't matter. Everyone just plays Cloud Online. The deck's bad. Sorry, it's French, so they'll go like, Cloud is bad. Oui. Baguette. We're all playing Slimefoot and Squee, the deck that's really good against Cloud for reasons unknown to me. Hon. No one clipped that. No one posted in the Fringe Duel Commander Discord. I've yet to lose to Slime Foot and Squeak. I don't get it. It's just a fucking like creature mid-range deck, and everyone's like, it's such a bad matchup for Cloud. Why? You're just the better. You're a Skull Clamp deck that just has Skull Clamp every game. They're just like a creature-y mid-range removal deck. I don't know. We're a creature-y mid-range removal deck that has Skull Clamp. Anyway, this is the best fucking... I love this fucking game. This game is incredible. Look at this opening hand. I posted this one on Blue Sky because I was just... It's beautiful. Look at this hand. Look at this fucking hand. And tell me it's not a snap fucking keep versus Lear. Tell me this isn't like the bet... Like, this hand isn't just the absolute nuts versus Lear. Where's Jarvis? Jarvis was like... talking shit about this hand. This hand's great. Gemstone Caverns is broken. City Traders also broken. Well, it's like backup broken. You get to turn one Cloud for Hand of Vecna, and if the Cloud gets like Wash Away or Force Spiked, the City Traders means that you can cast Cloud again on turn 2. Like, this hand's just the nuts. This hand's so good. Not a conventionally attractive hand. I mean, I don't think you keep this versus, like, Aragorn or something. I think specifically versus, like, Azusa or Lier or something like that, you keep this hand. And then we also do draw Mother of Runes, which is really good because it means that we're insulated from removal, or from, like, a bounce ball or something on the following turn. Or, like, a tapper. I get paid into keeping this every day. Maybe that's why I switched to the 54 land stick. The Mother of Runes now means that, like, now that they've taken the 12 here, they can't, like, bounce. They can't bounce the Hand of Vecna because I can recast it, because it's a beginning of combat trigger. They can't bounce the Cloud because I can recast the Cloud and get boots, and boots up the Cloud and Hand of Vecna and attack. They can't bounce the Mom because then the Cloud kills them. It's like bounce ball doesn't stop them, and then obviously they can't tap it because the Mom's active. They're just dead. It's just a turn 3 kill. This hand's nuts. This hand's so fucking good. They're just dead on turn 3. If they had like the Force Spike or the Wash Away for the Cloud too, it's just a turn 4 kill because we just get to City of Traders play the Cloud again on turn 2. And to set up the same fucking Hand of Vecna thing. It's so good. Hand of Vecna's... Oh, God. Hand was better than Sword of War and Peace. I do not miss Sword of War and Peace. We absolutely fucking browned both of our Cloud Mirror opponents that had Sword of War and Peace, and like I just got to Hand of Vecna just completely obliterate Lier. Shout out to Aggie, by the way, the person in chat right now who came up with the Hand of Vecna tech. Specifically, I told this little anecdote in the Duel Commander server today, but in my Duel Commander primer for Cloud, I put in the other equipment section, I'm like, I've looked pretty thoroughly at all the equipment. Every equipment in the deck that I want is in the deck. Here's a couple of outliers that I listed that are like maybe okay, stuff like Glimmer Lens, maybe a couple other like fringe options. If there's another card like Colossus Hammer or something, it's probably in the deck because I just didn't want it. There's not a card that I didn't think of, I promise. And then like one of the first things they ever say to me is like, have you tried Hand of Vecna? I'm like, I've literally never fucking seen this card in my life. I was just totally wrong, instantly humbled. And Hand of Vecna has been like absolutely nuts versus like Lier and Azusa. Just it's so good in these like low interaction, high racing scenarios. Eat shit, Sword of War and Peace. Play Hand of Vecna. You want to, like, Cloud's bad versus combo. I got a sideboard into Oswald so I can get fucking Tanglewire on turn 4 and beat the Lier decks that way. No, you just kill them. Just fucking kill them. It's that easy. Alright, I'll get off my soapbox. Anyway, that's the semifinals. Fun stuff. Let's quickly shift gears here. Oh god, I've got so many lists. I should really delete all these old garbage legacy lists. I think it's this one. Gotta shake off all the legacy rust. Yeah, this is probably fine. I probably want like one more Delver card. Maybe we'll just do no. I just always feel like people are just gonna jam fucking oops all spells or whatever, and I'm just gonna get hosed in these LCQs. Get killed by Forge, get killed by oops, whatever. Fuck it, I'll just outskill the tempo players. It's fine. Sounds like the argument for Bombardier and the Frogma. Just fucking kill them. Can't believe I'm merging source to clown shares and save tournaments. It's a good Magic card. Believe you me. Alright, best of luck, Mr. UC. Alright. Going back to the dual commander players. We still got 11 minutes. We can probably get through most of this. This is actually, hang on, we can maybe speedrun this and finish up. This is only 20 minutes. So we can maybe actually finish this like right before the LCQ starts. Alright. Finals time. We are up against Aragorn, a rematch for a one loss in the Swiss. Hand's pretty solid. What deck are you running him? Oh, you're talking to Mr. UC. He's got a spicy one. A Tuesday prelims firing. Thanks, Rika, for the 12-month resub. It is, I guess, technically a firing Tuesday prelim. Gather Commando, a really nice one. I'm pretty lax on like the flash package. It is something that's nice against these counterspell decks like Aragorn and Elminster and Atraxa and stuff. A lot of like the other cloud decks will play stuff like this. We saw Archivist of Ogma. We see Containment Priest sometimes, stuff like that. It helps to play against counterspells. I haven't like felt pressured enough by the counterspell decks to move towards that package in lieu of like just playing more synergistic, more reasonably powerful cards. Is Counterspells banned? Yes. But you know, sometimes it comes up. Cather Commando I think is good in a lot of other instances, and it happens to be pretty good here for holding up against counterspells and pressuring. And then my opponent just misses land 3, so I have to just not cast anything and just continue my game plan. And just, if they miss again, they have to move to discard. 1-1 that makes it 1-1 also. Yeah, the Doom Travelers are also really good for Aragorn. Now that they hit their land drop, though, I'm happy to start firing into my opponent's spells. I think I lead Cloud here, right? Yeah. Because if Cloud gets countered, it's another spell added back to my hand. Although Memory Lapse is kind of awkward, but whatever, same thing as like a Mana Leak here. Whereas if they counter the Stoneforge and the Cloud sits in play forever, then I don't get to like turn it into another card later, potentially. If they just like leave it in play. This Mishra's Factory, I feel like this is not stock in Aragorn lists, but it like continues to annoy me. But we do have Cathar Commando for it now, so we can like attack all and like, you know, use this as a Stone Rain, which is nice. We also have Sword of Fire and Ice, which is also nice. We just get uncounterable Sword of Fire and Ice equip attack. And then my opponent V-clicks me, which is really fucked up. But we also have Skull Clamp here, at least. Shadows to drawing the card Skull Clamp. It's pretty powerful, as it turns out. Yeah, they're super dead if they let me Sword of Fire and Ice. But then we draw Flare of Fortitude, which is also really good with this Armageddon, if we can find a window for that. Unfortunate that I don't really want to lose more on board. I guess I should have put the clamp on the Stoneforge here. I'm not really holding anything. I guess I'm holding up Razorcrest Ambush on the click, but the click's likely not attacking. They're at 9. Legacy of a long while ago. Yeah, Stoneforge activation versus Vendilion click. That's like fucking D&T versus Miracles era, baby. So now they've tails ended my Cathar Commando. The window is now open for my Armageddon. They are tapped out, huh? They know the Armageddon's there, though, which is kind of wild. Clamp on the Stoneforge, since you'd probably flare anyway. Yeah, Clamp on the Stoneforge here would have been really nice, too. We're drawing 2 cards if we had done that. So the highest like greed play, highest like I'm just want to win this game play is sack the Stoneforge with Flare Fortitude here, and then cast Armageddon. I am a little bit worried because they know I have the Armageddon, so that if they have Force Negation, that this is just like pretty bad for me. Especially if I sack the Stoneforge, so I opt to just like let it trade off, and we have enough lands in hand, and we have the Flagstones that like I'm gonna rebuild off this Armageddon better than they are. I'm just gonna like let it rip. This is me like pausing and tanking, thinking about whether or not I want to cast the Flare here instead. It also like the Flare does like make the Soldier token live, which is like kind of nice, but maybe I should have just ripped it. No, because killing the click is like kind of important. Now they're just like super dead. It would have been nicer if we drew 2 cards too. Witcher Moon, sure. It's really funny they fetch Thundering Falls, then mill this Tithe that they really would have liked. But obviously they don't have any white sources. I just grab a Doom Traveler, start cycling with Skull Clamp, yeah, and they just give up. They missed the land, presumably. Easy peasy. Alright, another heater. And by heater, I mean pretty decent hand. A little land light. Never mind, we're good. Having the Stoneforge in addition to the Cloud is always nice. Voice of Victory is really good here, too. But Stoneforge plus Clouded means there's a higher likelihood that you can try to get a Skull Clamp going. Trading my 1-drop for their 1-drop removal is kind of fine. We get a jam Cloud into what is like likely a Mana Tithe, but the fact that it's not a blue mana means that like I'm just always jamming there because it's exactly Mana Tithe that punishes me. I could, like, that's an opportunity to potentially resolve Stoneforge, but it's not very useful to resolve Stoneforge there, because it doesn't do anything. Like, I'm probably getting Skull Clamp, so I'd rather get the Voice of Victory online, so I can potentially utilize this to get some tokens. And then start clamping them. Some awkwardness here. But this means I do get to take Monarchy, which is nice. They can stack block my Voice of Victory, which is pretty bad, because it flips the Ajani. Do I have an attack here? I think I attack here. Taking the Monarchy, killing the Cat Warrior is like... Oh, that's why I cast the Stoneforge pre-combat, because I can, like, flare and keep my voice alive. And then they just don't double block the Voice of Victory, which... Sure, I guess. Don't have to waste my flare. We draw Rever Mantra, which is also really nice with this board. My opponent, their Aragorn costs 6. Super obnoxiously has Teferi, a really good card to have here versus my Rever Mantra Flare Fortitude hand. They can like Teferi, bounce the Stoneforge bounce the Voice of Victory, and then like make a 2/1 to contest the Stoneforge Mystic. It's just like kind of obnoxious, but not the end of the world or anything. We hit more lands, which is always nice. Hopefully this Voice of Victory gets to resolve. Which it does, which means we can just try to clear the Teferi, and if they trade with the cat token, we can just form war back the Stoneforge. I think I fuck up here slightly. Thinking about the Ajani and stuff, I I opt to put the 3 more on the voice to protect it via Sigarda's aid. But specifically, if they have land, they can like Aragorn 0 Ajani, which only deals 2 damage, which only kills Stoneforge Mystic. I'm not sure if that's like a guaranteed fuck up or not. Because protecting the Voice of Victory is pretty pivotal here, because the Voice of Victory is just really, really good with the Skull Clamp. And just in general against Aragorn. We draw Skyclave, which is just, bananas, powerful, just very, very good to draw. This Teferi is really fucking my shit up, though, because I would really love to, like, cast this Flare, like, or cast this, like, Reverent Mantra in combat or something to start clearing things, but Teferi just doesn't let you cast anything once Legacy start in, like, 1 minute. I opt to take the Monarchy from them, right? I think I send Voice at a thing and both the Warrior tokens at their face, yeah. And I just get to clamp both of my Warriors and just draw a bunch. And we draw Ravages of War, looking pretty good with my Voice of Victory. Alright. Before this game quite ends, we have to take a quick detour and play against Reanimator, but the really fast one, Magic Dad's, is... I won't say a one-trick, but pretty close to it. He's a seasoned Turbo Reanimator player. These hands just, like, aren't very keepable at all. Even if my opponent wasn't on, like, Reanimator. I guess this one I'd probably keep in the blind. Bottom the Cauldron. We don't have a lot more mulling for. It's like we have a one of main deck Fairy Macabre that could, like, have the nuts blow out, but... Do I keep this? If he mulls to 5, maybe I keep this, just because it has Lion Sash. And we can potentially, like, turn 2 Bale Merc, try to rip the Macabre. But yeah, I mean, game 1 versus Turbo Reanimator, you're not expecting a lot. We're just going to board in, like, 8 hate cards. Good luck, have fun. You too. Best of luck. Sorry that we ended the... Sorry to everyone that was here for Duel Commander content, that you don't get to see, like, the last 1 minute of that game until we play this. Gotta play some quick Legacy. Very macabre. Damn. Third land's nice, at least. My opponent does not play a single shred of Legacy, so I'm certainly about to die. Godspeed. Oh no. This is just Entomb. Entomb Grizzlebrand kill you. Yeah, not a ton we can ever do about that, huh? Maybe he needs the second land, doesn't have it? Nope. Alright, it's only draw 7, because it's Reanimate. We have, like, 6 looks at a Solitude. We still have 6 looks at a Solitude. Oh yeah, we have 2 looks at a Caracas too. Back street. That is not either of the cards that save me here. That is not either of the cards that save me here. Alright, so now we just Overlord for Solitude. Hope for the best. Oh, Solitude. Alright, not dead. Cool, cool. Only mostly dead. Second Entomb? Alright. Still pretty bad for me. Atraxa. Yeah, that's pretty good. We've got second Solitude rolled up at least. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. There are shallow graves in my opponent's deck usually, so I'm gonna like let this go to attacks. I'm going to pitch the Witch Enchanter here. There's a chance we want Formalware to get back Sash. There's also a chance that we just pitch the Formalware to a second Solitude after casting second Bellmark. Who knows? Alright, that's a lot of cards. Unmask / Thoughtseize is unfortunate. We have one draw to hit Plow or Caracas now. I guess Solitude still works. We have to draw Solitude, because we could pop Yorion in hand. This isn't too bad. I mean, the top card of our deck has to be very good, or we die. They take second Atraxa, Therapy, Lotus Petal, Animated. Put an Animating Dead Earth Solitude would be heads up. I think they're just going to make me discard my Overlord. Yes. I just came back, this matchup is not as bad as it could be. Yes, that's correct. Oh, they just take all my cards and then reanimate the Atraxa with the Animate Dead, sure. I guess I can F6. I should have F6'd a while ago. I have a feeling that we're dead, huh? Hold. I don't think this actually does anything. But it is funny. Do they have to like do I have to Shallow Grave the board? They have Shallow Grave. I think I have to take the Grizzlebrand or I'm just gonna fucking die. But I think they also are just going to lethal me with Borborygmos. They have 7 cards in hand. They probably have enough lands. This is 13 damage. They need 2 lands in hand. Which we know that they have Bayou. Bayou plus Delta. So we're literally dead. I guess we could block it. I don't think it matters. If my opponent only discarded 1 fatty, we could maybe have a shot here. But yeah, we're dying either way. Good news is this match. Yeah, this is the type of matchup where you're just always gonna lose game 1, and then unless you have like the nuts, and then you try to win the post board games. We board into like 8 million graveyard hate cards, and then also have a bunch of removal for the Witherbloom combo. Oh, this also, like, draws them more lands or whatever. Alright, yeah. Sure. Not a game I'm expecting, not a match I'm expecting to win my game one. Yoink. Yoink. I guess Disruptor is probably okay, because it also helps against Witherbloom. This shit sucks. Loron's pretty awful. Bowmasters are actually kind of nice, because this version has, did I say Loron? Bowmaster is pretty nice because this version has like actual factual Grizzlebrands. What the hell am I boarding out? I guess like the Overlord stuff. You want Skyclaves because Skyclaves answer what Witherbloom apprentices. Overlords are nice in tandem with Fairy. It's possible I just want to cut some like failures and stuff, but I also don't want to get like my own Overlords reanimated after I ley line of the Void my opponent. We do have to board out like 6 cards, so maybe we just like do some shit like that. Maybe we keep 2 Felias, board out all the Overlords. Is there anything else that's like bad in my deck? Not particularly. It's possible that Bowmaster's not actually good enough. It's not that good against a Grizzlebrand some of the time. Is it sane to cut Vial? It's like kind of sane. Vial's not that exciting. Ugh. You have to be wary of like show and tell sideboard as well. So it's kind of nice to keep in like Overlords. Yeah, I don't actually hate that. Maybe we just do like this, huh? I'd love to play first. Oh god. Oh. Zan's pretty weak to Witherbloom also. With like 8 0-mana Graveyard Hate cards in my deck, I think I'm supposed to mulligan this. Yeah, I'm kind of just not a believer in this hand. Seize is also Graveyard Hate. Yeah, Seize in Game 1 is like another good card to mulligan too. Yeah, I think I'm safe shipping this. Okay, this hand's just much better. We just get to bottom Formalware here, keep Solitude White card, land, Macabre, Leyline. Although, my opponent's deck is on, like, according to their MTG Goldfish at least, they're on, like, literal no answers to Graveyard Hate. Their plans against Graveyard Hate are Show and Tell and Witherbloom Apprentice, so it's possible I can just bottom the Fairy Macabre. Because they actually just can't stop Leyline of the Void. It's a little bit worse if they like try to steal my own things to reanimate, but my own things to reanimate aren't very good here. So I think I'm kind of down for that. 8 slots for Witherbloom, and it's just about that. Yeah, according to his latest list, he's literally on 8 Witherbloom combo, 3 Macabre, 4 Show and Tell. I think we just Stoneforge for, it's a little awkward, but Mill's Chain of Smog, huh? Might just mean he has second Chain of Smog, unclear. Might mean he's going for Show and Tell. This doesn't do anything. This does, if I mill this, God, I fucking hate leaps. If I mill the Skyclave, it means that my opponent can reanimate my Skyclave and take my Leyline. And then Entomb Reanimate. It's like so many cards, but like drawing this just fucking sucks, man. We really want to hit land 3. Like, it's pitch card. It's white pitch card. I think I do need to kind of keep this. Priced into keeping by bottoming Macabre, yeah. Hey, we'll draw land 3 and it'll be good against their Lotus Petal or their Witherbloom or whatever. It's fine. Cope. Anyway, I think I get Phantom Blade here, and if they show until, I just put in the Phantom Blade and keep the Solitude in reserve. Solitude being like 0 mana answer to Witherbloom combos. Nice. White pitch card that isn't formal or seems... Yeah, it's like okay to keep. It's definitely not a card I'm excited to keep. Yeah, this looks like we're getting show and telled. That is not the most powerful Atraxa I've ever seen. They do get to like potentially take my Solitude and stuff. Archon, Dark Rit, UC, Unmask. Entomb pitch. I'm adding on Archon, Dark Rit, UC, Unmask. You cast the Unmask. Take the Solitude. Maybe they take the Skyclave, kill the Leyline. That would be unfortunate, huh? They'd have to like do that all this turn, otherwise I have Formal Wear up. They could definitely have it all here, which would be just an easy way for me to crash out. Just if they have take Skyclave, cast Dark Rit, reanimate Skyclave, Entomb, reanimate again. What the fuck is happening to me? Oh, second show and tell. That's not very good. I mean, I guess we put in this fucking Skyclave that doesn't do anything. Alright, well, not a lot of my choices matter today. That's fine. We can go back to not caring. We have like 8, 9... Is there only 9 draws that are good here? Yeah, sure. Can they literally not be Sea Priest? Correct, yes. Well, Witherbloom combo. It's okay, we'll top deck Caracas here, and then die to Witherbloom combo anyway. Just change if I had put in Solitude instead. I just wouldn't be able to attack, and they would have gained more life. Yeah, never mind. They would gain more life to draw more cards with the Grizzlebrand. My play was fine. We'll just top deck Caracas here. Everything's dandy. Alright. Next best card, I guess. Witherbloom combo cannot hurt me. They've discarded 2 Witherbloom Apprentices. I'm sure this means nothing. Surely they won't cast a third show and tell. Damn. Surely we will simply top deck another Source of Plowshares. Damn. Damn it! We can't get back the Solitude. We have no fucking cards at hand. Damn, that's actually really close to a good draw, huh? Literally can't do anything, though. Looks like we're dead. Is this even worth casting? Don't actually know. We just discard whatever we get. And, like, it's obviously never coming off suspend. Keeps it out of the graveyard. I don't know if that actually matters. Alright, easy 0-1 drop. We can pretend that nothing ever happened. Cool beans. I almost planned it perfectly that I finished the Duel Commander stuff, but sorry for everyone that wanted to see the last 1 minute of the Duel Commander content. We just had to take a brief 10-minute interlude to get owned in Legacy. We'll go back to this. So what was happening? We took Monarchy here versus 2 active Planeswalkers. But we have, like, Voice of Victory plus Skyclave, so we're feeling pretty good. We just drew Ravages of War, which seems pretty nuts if we can untap. We have Ravages plus Flare plus active Voice of Victory, which is, like, fairly unbeatable, depending on how we untap here. Witch Enchanter shoots the Skull Clamp, probably, but... yeah, this is lights out. We have Doom Traveler, Flare Fortitude, Ravages of War, game over. My opponent cannot cast any spells on my turn. We have protected one-sided Armageddon. Damn it. I almost timed this perfectly, where I got all the Duel Commander content out of the way right before the showcase, or right before the LCQ. But I was off by, like, literally 1 minute. Unfortunate, but that's how we were much more successful in the much cooler and more interesting format. Thanks everyone for hanging out, watching mostly Duel Commander content. I have no more Legacy content to offer you because we crashed out of the LCQ at 0-1 in classic fashion. What's up, kitty? I'll pull up the list one more time, give it a little bit of a spiel before closing out the stream here. My Duel Commander deck list, it's probably a Moto thing. My Duel Commander deck lists always take, like, longer to load than my Legacy ones. I think I need to delete some of my, like, freeform deck lists or Legacy deck lists or something, and they load faster. Not 100% sure how that all works. What do you want, kitty? What? What? Already had the giveaway. Oh, good call. I did not do the giveaway today. Smart. I was busy trying to rush through the, not rush necessarily, but go through the whole Duel Commander trial that I didn't. That I forgot about that one. All right, what's the giveaway? Something about Cloud, something about winning the trial. Skull Clamp didn't really. Is there any standout? Hand of Vecna? Let's do Vecna, huh? Legacy is dead. Let's do Vecna. Hand of Vecna is my propaganda card for Cloud. Giveaway Vecna. Giving away 120 play points courtesy of Daybreak Games. As soon as I find my little title widget. Vecna. Giving away to one lucky chatter. Anyway, Cloud's great. Build your list like this. Don't play all the bad cards. Don't put Oswald in your deck. Don't put other bad cards in your deck. Play the good ones. Play Hand of Vecna. This card's bananas. Play a bunch of Doom Travelers. They're great. Don't play fucking... I keep seeing, like, literal Isamaru Hound of Konda in some of these decks. It's just a 1-mana 2/2, and it's blowing my mind. Like, we could just play much better cards than these. What are we doing here? Oh, thanks for the follow. Appreciated. I don't get that at all. Yeah, some of the Cloud lists out there are fucking wild. I don't get it. It is better than Savannah Lions. You're not wrong. But, like, there are so many better one-drops we can be playing. I sometimes think about the Basri and the Crawling Chorus that I've cut from this list. The Basri would be, like, kind of nice versus Elminster, I think. I think Elminster is one of the hardest matchups that I've played with this deck thus far. Quite genuinely, and not from a point of, like, I hope at least not a point of, like, hubris about how my success with this deck, or like what my run has been so far, but like I genuinely haven't felt like there's a matchup that I would call like have like it's more than slightly unfavorable. Like my worst matchups have felt like probably Elminster and Atraxa, but those matchups still feel like very within the bounds of winnable. And there's no, like, Doomsday versus D&Ts out there. There's no, like, oh, this deck hard counters Cloud, you beat it every time, or whatever. How's the Deadpool matchup? I'll never know. Never in my life will I ever know. But I think the matchup would just be really good, because your deck is actually full of, like, pretty bad cards to steal, mostly. I know that you asked this in jest, because you don't actually care for the answer, and you know that Deadpool isn't online, but the very legitimate answer is that I think Cloud is probably very good against Deadpool, because you're mostly relying on equipment that can't be stolen with Deadpool. You're just a Skull Clamp deck. You just get to like play Cloud, grab Skull Clamp. You can even clamp your Cloud away before the Deadpool turn potentially, so they can't steal your Cloud text and try to get their own Skull Clamp or whatever. But you're also just a better Skull Clamp deck than they are, and you can just like grind them into the dust. I would never ask a troll question. How dare? Yeah, my bad. Oh, my bad for assuming. How are you feeling about an upcoming clamp ban? I think it should happen. I don't know why it didn't happen. People, for some reason, don't think this deck is, like, just bananas great. They'll keep playing their fucking Yoshimarus and Slimefoot and Squeeze and Flages and just not play what is, like, has felt very clear and far away to me, the strongest, most consistent deck in the format. Putting Skull Clamp in your command zone and also your commander just double Skull Clamp triggers when you want, like, a huge reload. And it's also just a multi-purpose, like, all-encompassing tool that can, like, tutor up things for any specific situation. Grabbing GTA for creature matchups, grabbing Hand of Vecna for like combo matchups. It's just bananas. I don't know. I don't get it. This deck is fucking broken. Is there any qualifier for CDF in the States? I've talked to some of the folks about potential. Hopefully, I mentioned it at like the start of the stream. I hope to see a Moto event that would have a CDF qualifier. Also, like, I would be okay with a paper event running a CDF qualifier with the caveat that, like, obviously, it's like, if you qualified for Pro Tour, you're gonna fly yourself out there if you want to play. If you want to win a CDF invite and fly out to France, like, I would if I qualified for it. Oh, are there some in Canada? Damn, tell me when there are, like, qualifier events. I might go to those. If they're in Canada. I think there's like a player... Oh, it didn't fire? Yeah, I think there's like a player cap for it. Or not cap, the opposite of a cap. Player floor. For it to be like a CDF qualifier. I think you need like 100 people or something like that. I forget. But yeah, I spoke to some folks that run some of the French nationals stuff, and I would absolutely love to see nationals qualifier events. 100. Yeah, I don't know that. I forget. It was like a pretty big number though. They should make Magic on events. That would be nice. Flying to Canada to play Duel Commander, have the event not fire. I would end it all. But yeah, just put them on Moto. I think putting them on Moto would be really nice because like the people, like the French, want more qualifier events, right? Because they want more chances to qualify. And if they think that all the Moto people are sheep, then they can just show up and like steal the qualification, right? Just like beat up all the scrubs and just get the qualification for themselves. Put your money where your mouth is, right? I think it would be like a win-win if we got some, and it would like hopefully boost Duel Commander engagement because it would be this big event that qualifies you for like the huge French event that like maybe more people would be interested in. Boost Duel Commander engagement a little bit. Would be pretty good, I think. But that's obviously in the hands of the people that run those events and Daybreak, and kind of out of my hands. I've tried to get the ball rolling on that as much as I can as one person. I'm planning to go to Pittsburgh for the Steel City thing. I have no idea how many non-EDH players will be except for the ones that are paid to be there. I was planning on going to that, and then they announced no bans, and then I didn't. I immediately stopped any plans to go to Steel City. They announced no bans, and that the next ban list would be like a month after Eternal Weekend, and the literal week of European Eternal Weekend, and I canceled my plans for Steel City, and I decided to not buy my plane ticket for Eternal Weekend. I'll reconsider the Eternal Weekend stuff if Card Titan brings a Duel Commander event to Eternal Weekend, because that would be fucking sick. I'll reconsider my lack of ticket for that. I have also reached out to Card Titan about that. I've asked for a Duel Commander event there. I've talked to like the US, the people that run some of the US Duel Commander stuff, in hopes that they would reach out to Card Titan. If you are out there and you want Eternal Weekend to host a Duel Commander event, you can literally go on Card Titan's website, and like there's you can contact them. Hang on, Card Titan. Let's do this together. Everyone out there on your computers that wanted to see Duel Commander events at Eternal Weekend, you can go to cardtitan.com and then scroll down to contact us, and then you can type your name and your email and your message and just say, please Duel Commander at Eternal Weekend, Card Titan, please. And then you submit, and then we get the Duel Commander event at Eternal Weekend. It's that easy. cardtitan.com/contact_us. Send link. Boom. Links in the chat. You out there watching on YouTube, who's probably stopped watching the video because all the content's over and we're just kind of shooting the shit for the next 10 minutes before we end the giveaway and sign off. You should also go email Card Titan and ask them for Duel Commander. Duel Commander's great. Having a lot of fun. You just got here. Stream's almost over, but go email Card Titan. You still have time to type Vecna in chat, though, to get your chance at 120 play points down there at the bottom of the screen. Play several hours of Legacy for me. Unlucky. We lost round 1 of the LCQ. We have 0 hours of Legacy left. What's the most Mickey Mouse format I can ask them to host? Tiny Leaders, probably. Their store is close to me. I'll put a sign outside their doors if someone sends it to me. Yeah, don't actually. I'll do it. I'll do it, man. Minimum the qualifier last year was 32. Okay, I don't know what I'm saying. Tiny Leaders was my idea too. Tiny Leaders is a good Mickey Mouse format. It was like really popular in like LGSs for like 1 month and then just instantly disintegrated. The average MTG player does not remember tiny leaders. That's probably I mean, that's definitely correct. 32 player in Canada is sadly a lot. That is unfortunate. Yeah, I feel like we could make if we made the MagicCon events CDF qualifiers, that would be fun. But like the average person going to a MagicCon, are they also interested in flying to France for the Duel Commander Pro Tour? Probably not. So it's kind of, it feels probably like a lot of wasted slots would be maybe an issue. I would be interested in flying, but I imagine most people would not be. Last year people didn't reg because they didn't care for it. Yeah. It's not a great sell for like the average Duel Commander player in the States, I imagine. I lost faith in Shadow Spear. Yeah, I just like wasn't doing enough. Was kind of happy with cutting it. There are other cards. I kind of want to add a 40. I think 41st Land is the next card that I want to add to this deck. The most cuttable cards are probably this, or this. It's kind of tough. I've liked Ghost Vacuum more in general, but Soul Guide Lantern has some like better matchups sometimes. Honestly, like Fortune is like a little cuttable, but probably not before like these other ones. Yeah, I think these are like probably the more cuttable cards. Is Urza Saga legal? Yeah, it's just down here. It's cut off a little bit. Can't cut Springly Drum after the turn 3 Armageddon. Yeah, Springly Drum, it just like randomly shows up and is really good, but then there's also a lot of times that just Springly Drum is just completely miserable and I hate it and I don't want it in my deck ever. So it's tough to say. I think it's better than it is bad. I think it would maybe be Wisp. Wisp feels quite bad. I've liked Wisp, but I guess I have a pedigree of liking Wisp, but it is kind of just expensive. Sometimes doesn't do, like, you're never really recruiting for it, right? You just have a lot of better things to recruit for usually. It's like a good enough card, but I think it's probably cuttable-ish. It's also cute. That is true. Look at that art. It's a good little moth thing that's like 8 feet long, 25-foot wingspan. It's just a little guy. Kissable forehead? Are you sure? Where is the forehead? Is it this part? Is it this little weird like butt thing it's got there? Yes. Is the forehead in the room with us? A face only a mother could love, definitely. So I think these are probably like the more cuttable cards. I am running out of like cards that I'm like, I'm not very happy with this card's performance ever. I could probably like take it or leave it. Like the Shadow Spear was just like, this card never really shows up for me very often. Kind of fine kicking it to the curb. But all these cards are still like good. I'm happy to have them in the deck, so it starts to get harder and harder to make cuts. I think it's probably Wisp or one of the Graveyard Hate cards. These cards are like, alright, let's maybe make like 2 tiers here. I think these cards are slightly less cuttable. I think it's like Wisp or one of the... If we're going to dislike Laydown Arms, I've appreciated it. It's mostly just like 1-mana removal that just almost always tags relevant things. Just an oust. Another on Thin Ice. I like every removal. Yeah, it takes a lot for me to cut removal spells. I love killing my opponent's creatures in the super creature heavy format. You just look at like the matchup spread, and I couldn't use lay down arms to kill a bowmaster, so now I hate it. You just like you get shot twice, and then you lay down arms to bowmaster, and then you're fine, right? You clamp your Doomed Traveler, and you stack it so that you draw the cards before the trigger, before you create the token, so they just have to ping your face twice, and then you shoot the Bowmaster, and then you draw another 2 cards, and you're up like 4 cards, and you're just going to kill them. Or if you just like didn't have 2 planes, that's pretty unlucky. Format's going to be Spider-Man versus Avatar Aang soon. I mean, you say that in jest, obviously, because, like, blah, blah, universes beyond. I hate universes beyond cards, whatever, but, like, they seem pretty low power. I mean, so far, obviously. There could be something that shows up. Ever read the Mono Blue Katara? The Mono Blue Katara seems, like, kind of cool. It asks that you untap, which is usually pretty rough, but, like, cheap, card advantage. It's got the makings of, like, a playable card, but nothing, like no like boogeyman cards. We're not breaking the format. Similarly, there's like the blue-red Spider-Man 2099 or whatever that's got some like cute synergies with being in the command zone. That card seems like kind of cool. But none of these cards are like busting down the door. It does feel like the format is like very Final Fantasy though now. It's like Cloud, Tifa, Kefka, Vivi are all like pretty powerful decks, and there's a couple like other fringe players that are all Final Fantasy. There's the Mardu Celeste is like, you know, fringe on the fringes, but I don't know. Cloud's bananas. Qatar seems like a card that will 5-0 and Delver a bunch for a week. I was about to say Mercurial Spell Dancer. Yeah, God. Remember when people were like, "This is the second coming of Dreadhorde Arcanist"? I should end the giveaway. Everyone, type in your Vecnas before I keep getting distracted again, so I can end the stream at some point. Anyone wants to type in Vecna for your chance at 120 play points that hasn't already, we can end this giveaway. But yeah, Cloud's bananas. I don't understand why people don't think Cloud's like broken. Cloud's so fucking good, and I think they should probably ban Skullclamp. I hope they ban Skullclamp over Cloud. I understand that, like, some people will probably be upset about more powerful toys that are unique to this format getting taken away, but I also, like, Skullclamp is, like, one of the most powerful cards and most played cards in the format already. There were other decks that, like, were powerful Skullclamp decks that just weren't as consistent because they couldn't just find Skullclamp every game. And I think Cloud adds a lot to Felia decks, where you can board into Cloud versus like Mono Red and maybe a couple other matchups. Just ban Clamp, I hope. Ban Clamp, I want Cloud and Felia, yes. Ban Clamp so we can just sideboard Felia into Cloud versus Mono Red and crush them. Ban Cloud so I can play Beza and Felia. Oh no, I hated Beza. It was so bad. We just not ban anything. I mean, if they let me keep, like, farming people with Cloud, that's fine, but it certainly hasn't felt that way power level-wise, that we should just not ban anything. Beza's so adorable. Beza. Thought you liked Beza and Felia. I begrudgingly accepted Beza and Felia. Because I liked to, like, free roll the Mono Red matchup. That's pretty good art, though. I can't lie. Please, no bans. I want to play Cloud and Paper at least once. I also hope that there's no bans, or at least that the bans get pushed down a little bit down the road. Because if my plans work and we get Eternal Weekend to host a Duel Commander event, it's like 2 weeks after the September 30th BNR or something like that. And if they ban Skullclamp then, it's just going to be complete trash for me because I'm going to have to play like Felia completely untested, like no reps. It's going to be miserable. if they do want to ban Cloud, just skip July. Maybe just wait until September to ban Skull Clamp, so I can like farm people at Eternal Weekend. Hey, can you get down from there? All right, let's end this giveaway. Giveaway. Carlo, that's just good. That's not rigged. That's very specifically like he was the one that came in and reminded me, so he kind of deserves it. XJ Cloud argues for no bans before Eternal Weekend. That's right. Hey. Let's cool it with the what's the word I'm looking for? This is taking my quotes out of context. We can have bans before Eternal Weekends, just, you know, for some formats over others. But only one of the formats actually has a scheduled BNR between now and Eternal Weekend, which means, I guess, that I would rather they ban that no bans happen before Eternal Weekend, because it's phenomenally unlikely that we will see any Legacy bans. I think that's most of what I wanted to say, though. Imagine if Legacy had a ban announcement every 2 months. I mean, they kind of had one every... They were planning on it, right? Or, like, maybe every 3 months or something. But, like, there was, like, March, and then... Was it May or June? It was, like a fairly reasonable time frame. And then they went out of their way to say no bans, and also the next BNR is, for some reason, like, 6 months from now. Get fucked. It's exactly what happened with the when they didn't ban Grief too, or was it the ban after that they just like delayed things? I think it was the Grief ban that they delayed things or something like that. It was one of the bans in 2014. Hey, kitty, put it out. One of the bans in 2024. Did I say 2014? One of the bans in 2024. I forget which one. They were just like, hey, the next ban list is actually like 4 months from now for no fucking reason. Hey, Wellers, thanks for the follow, appreciated. Thanks for coming by during my deranged end of stream rants. Or at least hitting the follow button during that. Please no bans before Eternal Weekend so I can farm a tournament Watsy listens. This is what I said, word for word. Please quote me and share it everywhere. Grief not banned, Print Frog, ban Grief, ban Frog, ban Troll, ban nothing, next BNRs in 5 months, K thinks bye. I think something in there early. Hang on, let me see if I can find it. MTG Grief ban Legacy. What? Why don't I just see the... Oh, here it is. August. BNR. Next BNR is... When? I'm not saying these old ones. When the next BNRs are. Yeah, I guess not. I'll never know. Oh, right, I should take the... There's no more giveaways. Sorry, we did the giveaway. Giveaway's over. No more Vecnas. Stop typing Vecna. Sorry, come back next week when we play more Cloud and do more winning. Feck, no. I still can't get over how your username presumably picked years ago is Cloud and you main Cloud. It is great. I did actually pick Cloud, named after Cloud Strife. I've gone by like variants of J Cloud, XJ Cloud happened because I was like J Cloud when I was a kid, and then at some point there was an account where J Cloud was taken, and I just put a X in front of it, and then it was XJ Cloud forever. But yeah, it was named after Cloud Strife. You've always been a weeb. Is playing... Wait, hang on. Is playing Final Fantasy VII make you a weeb? That's, like, not... I think anime and Final Fantasy are two, like, different nerd spheres. Not necessarily... I am also a weeb, but that's for different reasons. I would not put Final Fantasy VII in the weeb bucket as much as, like, anime. When Cloud is banned, will you play Legacy again? I mean, probably not, unless Legacy's good. I'll probably just like play Felia when they ban Clamp. The Grief ban announcement coincided with them pushing the next ban announcement to December. That was it. Thank you. They said we're not banning Frog, and also there's no BNR until after Eternal Weekend. Get fucked. And also this BNR... Oh no, they did actually ban Frog then. They did actually make good on that at least. FF is weeb, just older weeb like Sailor Moon. But Sailor Moon is an anime. Final Fantasy is a video game. I feel like these are two different spheres. Well, I was a weeb because I watched Naruto when I was a kid, not because I played Final Fantasy VII for the PlayStation 1. Yeah, Dragon Ball Z, Sailor Moon. It can be both. I mean, it can be. I just, like, don't... It didn't really file into my mental, like, lexicon that, like, you would describe a Final Fantasy VII enjoyer as a weeb. Pokemon is weeb? I guess that's kind of toeing the line, huh? Because it is an anime and it's also a video game. I think... it's tough, though. I still don't think I would consider, like, Pokemon a weeb thing. I think it's just, like, a nerd thing. Is liking Kirby a weeb thing? That's definitely... That's just a video game thing. That's just it's a nerd thing. Generic nerd thing, not a weeb thing. Pokemon is Introduction to Weeb 101. And obviously, like, you can enjoy, you can enjoy video games outside of, like, the nerd space, but, like, if we're putting people in buckets here, Pokemon is just a grew up in the 90s/aughts thing. But, like, when you were made fun of for having Pokemon cards in the middle school and in the aughts or whatever, you were a nerd, right? FF7 is literally a JRPG. Yeah, it's Japanese, but, like, I don't think that everything Japanese just means... Because, like, Nintendo, also Japanese company, but, like, you play Mario, you're not a weeb. Mario is Italian coded. Nintendo is weeb. I gotta put my foot down on that. Nintendo is not weeb. This is just like good old fashioned nerd sphere. This is not weeb stuff. Playing Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time for the Nintendo 64 does not make you a weeb. It makes you a nerd. Well, it makes you like a video game enjoyer, which then you can subset that into nerd or whatever. Nintendo is too broad to be weeb. Yeah, like Square Enix is like just is too weeb. Where are we drawing the lines here? Square is more weeb than Pokemon by a lot. I will agree with that, yes. On the scale of weeb to not weeb, Square Enix is closer to weeb than Pokemon is. All lines are drawn as they always are to best suit me. That's the creed that I live by. Kingdom Hearts is weeb. Well, I mean, I guess by some metric, yes, because it's half Final Fantasy, half Disney, which is half weeb, half not. So Kingdom Hearts is clearly the middle of our spectrum. It is the platonic ideal of the center of our graph, right? Well, I guess not, because Final Fantasy isn't full weeb, or at least what I'm trying to argue. Kingdom Hearts is mega weeb. I don't understand you guys. Chat's totally losing me. Donald Duck is weeb. Kingdom Hearts also is a manga. I guess that you're not wrong. Kingdom Hearts is more weeb than Final Fantasy? Oh, God. Is it? Maybe? It could... Chet's really losing the plot here. If it has a manga, it's mega weeb. Hang on. We could probably find some real bullshit. What's something that's like... There's gotta be like... There's a Legend of Zelda manga, isn't there? Is Avatar The Last Airbender weeb? Oh, we're getting into some... Is Avatar an anime? Yeah, there's a Legend of Zelda manga. I don't think this is... I guess is it weeb, but only if you read this. If you just play the games, then it's different. Is Avatar The Last Airbender an anime? What's the meme? Like, the greatest forum post all time shut down after like 1,000 pages or whatever? Is the Zelda cartoon weeb? Definitely not. I would say pretty strong no. Is the Mario the Super Mario Brothers show weeb? I would say absolutely not. Get down, kitty. She's yelling at me because she knows it's been time to end the stream for like 15 minutes, but then chat got me ranting about like 3 different things instead of closing the stream. Avatar isn't an anime because the animation studio wasn't in Japan. Yeah, that is more or less along the lines of what I accept as fact, is that anime, the medium, refers to Japanese animation. And Avatar is just a cartoon. I successfully derailed the shit out of this stream so I can watch it. I apologize for nothing. I mean, in fairness, you derailed nothing that was actually going to happen. It was literally just me stopping the stream, so... At least we didn't derail, like, me trying to, like, play Magic or something. Anyway. Is King of the Hill dubbed in Japanese weeb? There are also posts about that, like, Japanese people that, like, are, like, the Japanese to America, like, what a white person is as a weeb, a Japanese person is, because they, like, watch King of the Hill with Japanese dubs, and they just, like, are real big fans of it. Whatever the actual opposite of a weeb is. Find someone to raid while we're here. It's just gonna be Efron. It's always Efron because he's always fucking online. He's not online. What the hell? Where is he? That's crazy. All right, who is online? Quick chat. Find something else to keep XChat line. Absolutely not. Or I'm getting out of here. I'm finding someone to raid. And we're getting out of here. Not raiding these fucking ADH players. Hey, there's me. Can't raid me. I'm feeling about Akasaka's new manga. It's a trip. I'm not getting baited by you though. Let's go just raid the BFG. The BFG. There's probably 3 E's in there. I don't want to think about this anymore. So I can ship you guys all off. Gotta save some rage bait for the next stream. It wasn't even. We were having a thorough conversation more than like raging. I would say having an engaging discussion, a little bit of back and forth, a little bit of banter. Anyway, let's get back on the rails. Fuck you guys, shut up. Let's get back on the rails. Give a little outro here. If you've for some reason watched the last 15 minutes where we sit here doing nothing besides staring at a Cloud deck list and yelling about fucking anime and Final Fantasy, congratulations. Thank you for continuing to watch. Hit the subscribe button if you're watching this on YouTube. You can hit the follow button on Twitch. We'd really appreciate those. We are going up in the YouTube subscribers. They've been going in the YouTube subscriptions. It's been going great. We're on the road to 1,000, so I'd really love it if you subscribed. I should have plugged this in like the middle of the YouTube in the middle of the stream, but I always forget to. That's pretty much it. I'll be back next week with some Cloud probably. At some point I'm going to stream something different than Cloud. Just mix things up. Maybe I'll play some Azusa one of these nights, something like that. But again, like I say, like every single week, it's really hard to put down a deck that you enjoy and is just extremely like well positioned and powerful. And I think Cloud is like quite genuinely, I think Cloud is the most broken deck I've ever played relative to the power level of the format it's existed in. I think maybe early White Plume Adventurer was more broken, but it has genuinely felt to me like Cloud is one of the most powerful decks I've ever played. So it's gonna be really hard for me to stop playing it as long as they let me. Gotta get my like infinite free wins in while I can, keep farming people for chests and play points online because I can't play any other dual commander events with it. But yeah, thanks everybody for watching and listening to my Cloud propaganda that we like to spiel every single week. And I'll be back again next week. See y'all later.